the people over here, to the people over there, to the people, from everywhere watching the show, staying top dollars because they know when we're on the stage, we're in a motherfucking range. So Trey, what up? Why don't you get the 12K? Yeah, and show them how easy does it. So if your folks wanna make something of it, step up, run up, get up. What's up, suckers? You want some of this? You're a stupid motherfucker. Kick it. Like
Yo. All right. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to Comicsgate Live. Comicsgate Live. That's plural. Yo, it's on Comic Artist Pro Secrets. My name is Ethan Van Sciver, 25-year veteran of this comic book industry, illustrator of future Prime Minister Jordan B. Peterson's 12 Rules for Life, creator of Cyberfrog Blood Honey, the biggest crowdfunded comic book of all time. I don't know. Pretty big comic book fan, right? Welcome tonight. It's gonna be a good evening.
Thanks.
We got a lot of. Well, thank you for coming on. We got 326 people watching now. We're gonna see if more people want to show up and listen to NWA and Phil Collins mashed up. What'd you think of that, Art?
This is all news to me. So is this old? Is older stuff? New
I
stuff?
don't know. That's it's old, but it's new. That's the thing. You take old songs and you make them new. Ladies and gentlemen, Art T. Bear is here. Turns out that Art T. Bear is the creator of Black and White, a comic book that is part of Comicsgate. Why don't you talk about Black and White real quick while I put it in the chat for you?
Oh, thank you. It's pretty much heating up the charts right now. I think yesterday, not that I'm a bragger, but it was nothing short of a miracle. We did like 1,400 in one day. We're 3 days out. We have 514 backers, and Black and White is a 48-page graphic novel that follows the adventures of Reed Blackett, aka Black, and Whitney Sung, aka White. And the line between justice and vengeance is blurred when an ex-spy and a brewery heiress join forces to take down an extremist with a growing army of mech bots. In a world where law and order is often blurred to gray, justice can only be black and white.
It can't be any kind of gray tone. There's no gray in justice.
Not when it relates to them. They live in the gray world, but their justice, it's only black and white.
Did you say mech bots?
I sure as hell did.
Mech bots. Johnny Dollar, thanks for $14.99. Wow. Hey, Ehe, I walked into my local comic shop this evening. Started off asking for your bro's book, but when I asked about Cyberfrog, the dude was all NPC. LOL.
That's not good.
Yeah. Well, what can you do? Cyberfrog is going to trigger some people. I don't know why. I mean, I really don't understand what people's problems are anymore. All right, let me see who's in here. We got Mike S. Miller of Lone Star Heart of the Hero. How are you, Mike?
I'm doing well. How are you? I'm busy working on the dialogue for Lone Star. It's hard to find quiet time in my house, and so
it's hard. It is hard, man. You just need, at the same time, like I have plenty of quiet. I have the basement. And then I feel bad. I don't like to be isolated from my family. But at the same time, when I worked upstairs, it was impossible to focus. So,
writing, the things I need quiet for generally is writing and layouts. Everything else, I don't care if there's a nuke going off next to me. But if I'm writing and I'm doing layouts, it's like I need 100% concentration.
I hear that. We've also got Frank Martin. Frank Martin, this is, I think, his third time on the show. Frank Martin. Yeah, it is, right?
That's it.
Yeah, Frank Martin is doing a book called The Galactic Comet. How are you tonight, Frank?
I'm doing fantastic.
All right, good. And then we've got Just Some Guy. That's awesome. Just Some Guy's here tonight?
My favorite guy, yeah.
Just Some Guy.
One of my all-time favorite YouTubers, without question. You know, I mean, he's got a great YouTube channel. It's funny, it's insightful. Of course, it's you know, it tends to lean to the right, so I like that. He's just all about justice. He's all about justice.
Justice is not right or left. Justice is center, dead
Yeah.
center, and moral.
Black and white.
No,
More
no,
shade-
he's saying it's not. He's saying it's gray.
Yes,
Whoa.
it's all gray, like a
Whoa.
proper Jedi.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, not according to Jordan Peterson.
Well, you can't
and then-
always be right.
Jordan Peterson is usually right. But yeah, I guess he can't always be right. And then finally, we've got the great Stephen Hart, 28-year-old Comicsgate creator from Bakersfield. That's in California, right?
Yeah, it's like the most conservative part of California.
How about that?
It's a haven.
Yeah, I like that. That's must be weird. It must feel kind of powerless to be a conservative in California. I mean, you know, there's
Yeah.
nothing you can do. You know, you're surrounded.
Yeah,
Well-
you are surrounded.
Oh my God. He does a book called The Sami Children of Rusu. And it's been incredibly successful. You know, in just the past few days, it has reached its fixed goal with 8 days left, $5,634. Congratulations, Stephen Hart.
Thank you, everybody who's contributing. You know, it means a lot to pretty much be nobody and coming in here and making a comic, and people trusting and liking my art enough to contribute the way they've been doing. And also you, Ethan, for having me on the show. So,
Well,
Steven, I would like to thank you for appropriating my culture.
oh, sorry about that.
No, it's dude. When you appropriate someone's culture, that means you respect it and you want to embrace it. And you know, it's like
Yeah, no,
Well-
I get it. I love Japanese culture.
Yeah.
That's why I'm making this comic, you know. And big fan of anime. You know, since the big anime boom in the early '90s, and just from there, pretty much like anybody who likes anime, you know, you get kind of sucked into the Japanese culture, and especially the samurai era, the Sengoku Jedi era. It's just it's amazing. The more you read up on it, you see how truly amazing it is.
are you a weeaboo?
Yes, I'm a weeboo. Very much so.
yeah, I mean, Caleb says, "Hey, Uncle Ehe, sorry for making a joke about you being racist on Twitter." Well, I didn't even know you did, so now I know, and now it hurts. You could have just I didn't know. You could have just let it slide. Find it funny NPCs call you this stuff, then blame you for the firing of 2 white men opening Disney to hire diverse people. Yeah, well, I mean, I will take the blame for Chuck Wendig's firing. I don't know why. I just like it. I don't know why they want to give me credit for that. I had nothing to do with it. I'm like a sideliner that's just kind of watching from. You know, I'm an innocent spectator. I'm just an innocent bystander. But okay, you know, these people are all nuts. These people are totally and completely crazy. And you know, whatever. Who's the other white man that I got fired from Disney? He doesn't know.
Isn't he
James
James
Gunn?
Gunn?
Oh, James Gunn. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah, that was-
totally did that. That wasn't him making, you know, questionable tweets from 10 years ago. No, it's all you.
You know what's so weird? It's like, I mean, honestly, like the entertainment business is it's a very big place, and I am just a tiny little cog in it. I'm just this little tiny thing in this little corner of entertainment. And yet, you know, everybody else who joins me within this tiny little cog, this tiny little corner, indie comic books, seems to think I have outsized influence. Either that or they're just effing with me. I don't really know. I had very little to do. Most of the time, you know, when it comes to a guy like James Gunn, I was simply reporting, and that's what I use my YouTube channel to do. I report on what I hear and what I know. And when it comes to James Wendig, I only laughed. I only laughed after the fact. You know, I had very little to do with Chuck Wendig actually getting fired. But they're up to no good. I mean, these people, I don't know what. They're kind of up to no good, you know, when it comes to that. They don't actually think that I had anything to do with it. They're just trying to get me in trouble somehow. Hank Solo says, EVS is the boogeyman for SJWs. I know. What a great night tonight. Andrea decided that she's going to get back to the kitchen. She read this whole article about how Western society has collapsed since women came out of the kitchen. And she's into it. I mean, she's just like, look at it. You know, look at the nutrition. Like, you know, people's basic nutrition has lapsed. They're sicker. Everyone is diabetic. You know, it all kind of fits with things coming unraveled. She's like, if I were in the kitchen, starting cooking dinners at like early afternoon, and I had a beautiful dinner for you guys, I think the whole family would be healthier. And I was like, you're just saying that. Well, tonight she did. She roasted a beautiful chicken. She, had green beans and asparagus, and it was amazing. I forgot how much I liked roasted chicken that was actually homemade. You usually just buy these kind of rotisserie. In New Jersey, we pronounce it rotisserie, but rotisserie chickens. So actually getting like a homemade roasted chicken was fantastic. And she's on this whole kick. She's like, I'm going to get this family healthy. So I did. I enjoyed her chicken, and then I just opened up some Jack Daniels, and so I don't know if it actually worked.
You got to start somewhere, though.
Yeah. I'm eating. The food is good, but then I'm drinking, and watching. I watched this great thing, guys. It was Johnny Carson in 1965 introducing the Rat Pack. There was a Rat Pack benefit show, and it was on TV. It was like the Frank Sinatra special with the Rat Pack. Johnny Carson was up on stage singing like the Birth of the Blues with like Sammy Davis Jr., Dean Martin, and Frank Sinatra. And I was like, bring me a drink, and I'm settling in here for a little while, and I'm going to watch this. It's on YouTube, so you can watch it on YouTube, but I was watching it on YouTube on the big screen TV upstairs. What a perfect day. This was the perfect day. Woke up, worked all day, stopped after dinner, had a nice dinner, watched the Rat Pack, had a few drinks, and then I'm right down here to do what I do, which is Comicsgate Live. Thank you, everyone. 742 people watching right now. I really appreciate you. Something terrible is going on in the entertainment industry. Something absolutely terrible. People are doing bad things. People are saying bad things. Not even really bad things. They're just kind of saying, I don't know, slightly edgy things to NPCs, and then they're forced to apologize. Mike, you know better than that.
Never apologize. Never give in. Never surrender.
Never apologize ever. Not even if you were wrong, just don't do it. Just be like, yeah, well, whatever.
Unless you're playing 4D chess.
Whoa. Well, what kind of 4D chess? Like, what would be a 4D chess move when it comes to an apology?
If you're trying to set someone else up to look like the bad guy in public.
Oh.
Not that I would ever do such a thing.
That's interesting. I can't think that far ahead. I just think, no, I refuse. Lady Hawk, thanks for $4.99. Nutritional biochem major. I love being in the kitchen and love cooking for my family during the holidays. Would make you a pie any day. Thank you, Lady Hawk. That's nice.
Wow,
I like that.
That's cool.
Yeah, the ladies, I'm telling you, Comicsgate ladies are terrific. Ryan Lady Gaga says Ava. I think, did I mention my daughter, Ava? Yeah. Johnny Dollar, thank you for $9.99. EVS, that was filmed in St. Louis. It was an old school simulcast, Rat Pack. That's right. I know. He was singing Chicago, a wonderful town, but he replaced it with St. Louis. And so that was interesting. I for some reason, I thought it was supposed to be in Vegas. But yeah, it wasn't St. Louis. What a great show. If you guys have a chance, look that up and just enjoy it, man. The 1960s were better. I told Steven, I told my wife, I was like, I'm so glad that you live in the late 50s, early 60s with me. And she's like, yeah. I don't know if she knew what I was talking about. But it's just it was better. It was better then. Camelot,
I think the 50s was like what people say is the ideal time in America. It's supposed to be the perfect time.
There was some good stuff about it and some bad stuff about it.
Yeah.
I like to focus on the good stuff, but yeah, there was some bad stuff, of course. There's some bad stuff going on now as well. Nothing's
Everyone
perfect.
lived in poverty.
In the 50s? Yeah.
By today's standards, everyone lived in poverty.
Yeah. It's funny because I buy these like old magazines, like Life magazine from like 1955. And everybody is just, it's like, there's all these ads for like buying televisions on installment programs. And by the way, TVs cost the same then as they cost now. A television set was like $800 back then. And, you're talking about people who were making, conservatively anywhere from like $2,000 to like $12,000 a year. $12,000 a year was a huge salary. That's an upper middle class guy. television set, $800.
Yeah, to even live a lower middle class lifestyle by today's standards in the 50s, you'd have to been a millionaire.
Oh yeah. But you know what? The other thing is they didn't know how to eat back then. Like, I mean, you look at the food that they had. Like, you know, right after World War II, everyone's eating canned food. You know, it's like, oh, look, here are Dole pineapples in a can. How to spice up your party. Take a Dole pineapple ring and wrap it around a hot dog and then chop it up. Boom, party hors d'oeuvres. And you're like, what?
Delicious.
Yeah, they're like, how to cook with canned cream corn. You know, it's like, ew. Horrible stuff. And when you talk about like what, you know, wow, like what's eating out? Like what do you, when you're eating out and you're fine dining, what are you having? And it's like lasagna. You know, it's like I'm gonna take my wife out and I'm gonna give her some I don't know, it's always like some kind of Italian pasta, you know, like that kind of a thing. That's what wealthy people went out to eat.
This
you
isn't
know.
sounding very exciting. I think I'd rather just do the 80s without the insanity.
The 80s without, I would do the 80s again. But I mean, I lived through the 80s. That was fun. The Reagan era. That was good times. Hey, John Malin, welcome.
How's it going? Yeah, back in the day, man, like people didn't know how to drink either. So if you guys ever seen that movie Airplane, everybody was doing that until about 1970.
Well, they were drinking all the time. I mean, you know, you drank just to take the edge off in order to be able to start drinking back then. You know,
Do you
it's
ever
like-
watch the Dean Martin?
In their mouth.
Did you ever watch the Dean Martin show? The first thing he does is he walks across the stage and then he pours himself a drink. He's got a bar in the set.
He's my hero.
Dave Allen at large was like that. He'd just sit there on his little stool drinking scotch the whole show.
Yeah. Well, that was, you know, I don't know how much of that was real. I don't know. I think Dean Martin's whole thing was to pretend to be drunk, but I love that. I mean, I love that whole thing. Those guys had a great life. Those guys just drank a lot. They had all these women come in. They'd have 8 beautiful women come in with beehive hairdos. They told them to go take a nap up in their hotel room. They'd be up later. And they just sat there and they played roulette all night long. They sang and they weren't even very good. It's like they got on stage drunk and just mumbled through some of their songs, goofed off. Everybody cheered and applauded like they were amazing. And then they just went upstairs and had sex with 8 women at a time. I mean, it was a better time. It was a better era.
Hey, Ethan, there's two places in California. Oh, go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mike.
Oh, I just said my daughter is right here.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry.
Well, there's 2 places.
Laughing.
He's laughing. There's 2
Sorry.
places in Southern California that the Brat Pack. Well, actually, maybe even 3. So there's Vegas. Yeah. There's Palm Springs, and there's a lot of Laguna Beach actually that were kind of Brat Pack locations where they basically built a community around them.
That's
crazy.
the Brat Pack.
Are you talking about the Brat Pack in the 1980s? We're talking about the Rat Pack.
Oh, wait.
I'm thinking we're talking about like Molly
Frank
Ringwald.
Sinatra. No.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
talking about Frank Sinatra. No, those guys didn't do anything. No, I'm talking about like Frank Sinatra and those guys. Yeah.
Yeah. Good times,
the Rat
man.
Pack, not the Brat Pack. Yeah.
We need to form a Rat Pack. John Malin would definitely be in it.
Oh yeah, I'd be Sammy.
The one-eyed Sammy.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah,
We
smooth.
sat there tonight and we tried to figure out which one of his eyes had a glass eye in it. Now, is it the one that was bulging all the time or the one that wasn't bulging all the time?
I thought it was his right eye.
The one that didn't move.
No, they all moved. They both moved.
Did it?
All of them?
Yeah, they all moved. All 6 of his eyes moved. No, we watch it. You know, Andrew was like, "Well, which one?" I'm like, "It's the one that's bulging all the time." It's like there's one eye that's open real wide, and there's one eye that's kind of closed, and the one that's open real wide is his eyeball. And then I said to her, "I said, you know, are glass eyes like having fake teeth? Like, do you take it out of your skull in the middle of the night and put it in a glass of water?"
Yeah,
Or
they
else-
do actually. They have to take them
Wash
out.
it.
Yeah, because you have to clean it. It'll be unsanitary.
So when you put it back in, do you have to like pull your eyelid back over it? You know what I mean?
No.
Well, I mean, it probably works on its own once you pop it in the eye socket. But I
Well,
mean,
no,
you gotta
you-
push
you-
it in.
You push it in, but then if you pushed it in, you would push your eyelid back with it. You know what I
No,
mean?
you'd have to open the eyelid, and then you put the thing in, and then you
This is the
blink, and
worst
then it would.
conversation ever.
That's like a scene from Poltergeist. No thanks.
Oh,
I've,
You know how
I've
Ethan
actually
was
seen
almost
someone
puking the
do
other
it,
night.
so it's very weird to watch. But you pull the eye open, and then you put it in, and then they blink, and it'll sort of settle.
it works. Okay.
Like a
Yeah.
catheter.
Like a cat. We were talking about
No,
catheters
no,
last
no,
night.
no.
We don't need
That's
to
my
bring that
glass
up
eye,
again.
baby.
Vince Garrett, thanks for $5. Got my copy of Black and Red today. It's a little underwhelming, but a good, solid work for an art book. Looking forward to seeing more from Elliot. Smiley face. Well, Yemi Caleb, apology equals confirmation NPC code. That is true. Alex G, please, Uncle. Cyberfrog dancing to Poison. Oh, yeah. Poison by Belle Biv DeVoe. You like that, huh? Well, we could, maybe I'll post that somewhere. Really good chef. Thanks for $5. I collect antique cookbooks. Canned Pigeon was popular. Turn of the century. Well, it's
Why
lost.
would you eat a rat bird? Oh my god!
Well, it's canned. Turn of the century. You mean like 2002, 2001? Like, John Whalen. Thanks for $2. Mike is the first to apologize. Grand Rapids, CC. Yes, that is true. Mike did apologize. Wow, how ironic.
40
But
check.
who asked him to apologize? It was me. He fought me for it. He fought me over it. Ben West says you guys can be the Drat Pack. Yeah. Lady Hawk says I'd sing for you. Seriously, your songs are great. Lady Hawk, do you love me? I mean, you're making me pies. You're singing for me. I mean, I appreciate it. Johnny Dollar, thank you for $9.99. I would be Alan Hale Jr. tagging along with the Rat Pack. Did Alan Hale Jr., did the skipper ever hang out with the Rat Pack? I don't feel like he ever did.
I don't think he was cool enough. He didn't seem cool enough to me.
I always forget the name of the guy on the left in this picture.
What's his name?
Peter?
Peter Lawford.
Ooh, Peter Lawford, good call.
He's like
Yeah.
the Pete Best of the Rat Pack.
Well,
Sammy Davis lost his left eye.
His left eye. Okay, well.
So the bulgy one in this one is his right.
That's his real eye. Interesting. Peter Lawford fell out of favor. He wasn't cool with the Rat Pack because Peter Lawford married John F. Kennedy's sister. Okay, so he was in the Kennedy clan, and Frank Sinatra was like, "Well, he's my friend, and that kind of means that I can get favors from the White House." So when John F. Kennedy was coming to town, John F. Kennedy needed a place to stay. This was shortly after he was the president. And he told Peter Lawford, he said, hey, go tell John to stay with me. I want him to. And John F. Kennedy said, okay, great. Yeah, I'll stay with Sinatra. Well, John F. Kennedy's father flipped out and said, that guy's got mafia connections, mafia ties. You're the president now. You can't be seen with Frank Sinatra. So, Frank argued. He told Peter to go back and forth on his behalf and convince John to stay. And instead, Kennedy decided to stay with Bing Crosby, who was a Republican. That was the ultimate diss. Frank Sinatra threw a fit. He had built a whole house for John F. Kennedy to stay in. And he ended up kicking Peter Lawford's ass and kicking him out of the Rat Pack. So that picture that you had there of Peter Lawford was right before Frank Sinatra beat his ass and threw him out of the Rat Pack.
But wasn't Kennedy's father like in the illegal booze business?
That's correct. That was the irony of it all.
That is
He was a bootlegger. But he was Irish. What do you expect? I mean, listen,
what do you expect?
You're Irish during the Prohibition. Yeah, I would be totally. I would be. I'd be smuggling booze with just some guy. Me and just some guy would be, wouldn't we, or no?
Well, I mean, if we could stop by Atlantic City and meet, Steve Buscemi, and he doesn't kill the both of us, then we'd be fine.
Yeah. Come over here. Just some guy. Where do you live? What state are you in?
I am in Chicago.
Wonderful town.
It's not a state.
I know, but it's the only place in the state that actually matters.
Yeah. Well, come to New Jersey. I'll take you to Atlantic City. It's just a few minutes from my house. I'm always telling Andrea I'm going to go there. And she's like, you see this look on my face? And she gives me a look. And she goes, that's how I'll feel about you if you get up and go to Atlantic City by yourself without me. I'm like, oh. All right.
I was over in that area last month. Actually, I went to Boston for my my job, so I wasn't that far from everything, but I didn't have enough time to really go and do anything.
Oh, well, next time, and do come up here, just some guy. We will hang out. All of us will hang out. We're gonna do a Comicsgate convention in Philadelphia. I'm almost sure of it, and it's gonna be next year. And John Malin will be there. Mike S. Miller will be there. RT Bear will be there.
Yes.
Steven is gonna be there. Frank's gonna be there. Everyone's gonna be there except for Zach. He won't go.
I will draw my butt off for them.
You
Them
will?
folks. Oh yeah.
Mark C says Dean Martin didn't actually drink and went to bed early while the rest of them partied all night. It was all an act. That's the rumor, but I think, part of me thinks that was part of, what they told Dean's wife. That was part of the story.
Well, wasn't Dean's son like a crazy partier? So I just thought he was following his father's footsteps.
I don't know.
His son passed away early, didn't he?
Yeah, I thought it was like from drugs or some kind of partying, some kind of craziness.
Yeah.
I think all celebrity kids are crazy partiers.
Yeah.
Yeah, even if their parents aren't, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got all that money and all that time. How's your father said JFK was killed by Frank's mafia buddies? So
that's right.
Who's that? Who got last laugh?
That is a fact.
No, he wasn't. He was killed by the Fed.
He was killed by what?
The Fed.
Why? Why was he killed by the Fed?
Because he was trying to take the power away from the Fed. He was the U.S. government was printing its own currency for the first time since 1913.
Mm-hmm.
If you notice the dollars that were coming out during the Kennedy administration, on the top it says United States note instead of Federal Reserve note. He was taking away their power, and they didn't like it.
They didn't like it, so they whacked him out?
That's correct.
Then what happened?
They won.
Then they won.
They did?
No one else has tried since. Maybe Trump will try.
Meanwhile,
What about cryptocurrency?
Mike is over there advocating global currency through Bitcoin.
Yeah, exactly.
Decentralized, man.
Whatever you got to tell
Also
yourself.
takes away the power from the Fed. What?
Whatever you got to tell yourself.
Mild Peril says, thanks for £5. If Comicsgate is a big success, what other industry should follow your business model? No, we're following the movie business model, honestly. It's like, who would I think the rest of the independent comic book industry should kind of follow what we do, but we don't care if they do or don't. I mean, this is the thing. Again, let me reiterate. We don't care. Like, if they, we're not here to fix the mainstream comic book industry at all. We want them to continue doing what they're doing. And if they fail, they fail. If they succeed, they succeed. It has nothing to do with us. Comicsgate was spurred on by, a disappointment in the content and the behavior. The content of the comic books and the behavior of the comic book professionals, and the quite obvious to anyone who isn't an SJW, far left-wing SJW, invasion, takeover of the comic book industry. That's all. This is just a reaction to that. We're not trying to fix anything. Nothing should change. The only thing that we should do is provide an alternative.
Well, all I know is that I'm having a hell of a good time right now. This is amazing. This fan base is amazing. Coming on these shows, hanging out with you guys is amazing. Drawing for people is amazing. I don't know. I've never seen anything like this in my... I actually did some math for you guys. I've been in the industry for 36 years, not 30 years. I did the math this morning. So, yeah, I am old. So, yeah, I've never seen...
That's not math, like dude. That's just counting.
That's math. That's math, Michael.
Yeah, complicated algebra. And
it might not be that complicated.
Let's see. I take this number over here.
Okay, but you understand what I was trying to say. Okay, it's been a long time. It's never. I've never seen anything like this before. The support and this audience is amazing.
Radical Comics says, I got my Batman TDK 2829 in the mail today. Looking at that glorious man bat art. Oh, that's me. I did that. It makes me wish the Bat Dracula crossover was drawn by Uncle E. I thought about that today. I was thinking, I would do Girl Bat. Why not do a female man bat? That'd be kind of cool. Like Girl Bat or Woman Bat. Is Woman Bat, like, which would you do? Like Girl Bat or Woman Bat?
It should be Wahmen Bat.
Wahmen Bat.
Wahmen bat.
How many nipples does a bat have?
I don't know. I probably wouldn't think too hard about that. And the other thing I was thinking, this is the bad thing. It's like I was thinking about it, and I'm like, the furry boobs. Like I'd be like, I'd have to cover them up. It's like Man Bat has his chest exposed and everything. It's interesting, but Girl Bat would have to be covered up, and that's just the way it goes.
Did you draw the nipples on the Man Bat?
Yes, yeah, I
Oh,
did.
okay. Yeah, you got to put the fur on it then.
Yeah.
It's like an open gorilla chest.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I gave it hair. I think I don't remember. Let me see. It was a while ago.
I always thought it was
but
kind of
yeah,
open. I thought the design was open on the chest there.
They're just always in shadow.
Pete Mack in chat says Wham Bat.
Ooh,
Wham Bat.
that's good.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we could call it Wham Bat.
Does it play George Michael songs?
I think Mike has his next subject matter for drawn and quartered. Wham Bat.
Man Bat. Hold on,
Cheetara.
I don't want to draw any of that. I'm not going to show up for that then. I don't want to draw Thundercats.
I thought you were going to say Wham Bat.
All right, here's my Man Bat drawing.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
That's awesome. How long did that take?
3 or 4 days. I think. Yeah.
I feel better now. I thought you were gonna be like 3 and 4 hours. Like, damn, I'm slow.
No, I'm really slow. Believe it. It takes me a long time to get stuff done. But yeah, this is my version of Man Bat. And I hated everyone else's version. I don't know if you guys are like that. If this is just something that's wrong with me, but like I see other people's like versions of characters, and I'm like, no. That's not right. And I just can't wait to get a hold of them. I'm doing that right now with Lone Star. I'm like, no.
It's all wrong.
Like,
the helmet.
Yeah, it's all wrong.
Goggles. Yeah.
When is it going to be my turn to draw Lone Star? So that's that. Thank you, Radical Comics. Jude Vanalian, thanks for $2. Uncle E, y'all are the chat pack.
Ooh,
That's not bad.
Yeah, the chat pack. Yeah, but we do stuff too. That was fun. I really did enjoy doing Drawn and Quartered with you guys.
You coming back or no? I can move it to Wednesday, but I need it for sure.
You do? Why do you need it for sure from me?
Because I don't want to keep moving it back and forth.
Well, why don't you just make it on Wednesdays, and then if Ethan can make it, he just pops in.
Because then I don't get to pressure him.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can't promise that I'll always do it, but I don't know. I can't do it at all on Tuesday.
Do it even semi-regularly, I can bump it over to Wednesday.
Yeah. Oh, look at this. Oh, hold on. I want to show you one more thing of Man Bat.
Yeah, I'm trying to find freaking Man Bat. I did him in a page of Injustice.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I would want to say, yeah. Man Bat's one of my favorite villains. I really like him. All right, see this right here? This is Batman fighting Man Bat. This is the original art. Look at this right here, Andrea. I hit Andrea's name and
boom.
Yeah, you got to do that whenever you can. You got to hide little words. I've been hiding messages, obviously, in my own artwork since forever.
I put my daughter's age in most of my books. So whatever age she is, I put the age number in there. So you can kind of, when she looks back, she'll be able to see like, oh, I was 7 when he drew this, or when I was 5, or whatever. Yeah.
See, you're a way better dad than me. I put my own age on my birthday. Like I'll be like, this is the page that I was drawing on my birthday instead of having fun, and I'll just put 22, in the corner. I can remember it that way.
You're
George
dad.
Well,
I can see it.
George Asuncion says, when do tickets go on sale for the convention? Take my money, please take it. Yeah, I think we would do good. Honestly, here's the thing. I mean, these weirdos in mainstream comics think that like, I don't know what they think. I think if we showed up, if Comicsgate turned up with a Comicsgate booth at any convention, they would kind of be surprised at how popular we are.
Mm-hmm. You'd be the rock stars.
Yeah, I don't think they realize we are bigger than life, especially John.
Yeah.
I mean, not so much Nasser, but like almost everyone else. Where's Nasser? I gotta insult him. He needs to come in here so he can be the butt of my jokes. Michael Rodriguez. Hey guys, Star Wars fans, just wanted to let you guys know that the reviews for you channels asking donations. Craig has another tumor, not doing well. Johnny Dollar, $4.99. My 4th grade teacher was in the Marines. He testified on the Warren Commission as Lee Harvey Oswald was in his platoon. Holy cow, that is awesome. That is awesome. I almost bought Lee Harvey Oswald's autograph. It was 10 grand. It was a letter that he wrote from Russia to his brother, like a postcard. It was $10,000. I was like, yeah.
He was a patsy.
Do you know what it went for?
Well, that's how much it was. So it was buy it now on eBay for $10,000. His brother just sold everything he had, at one point, and everything he had of his brother, and that card was just up there for a long time. I guess it's gone now, but boy, I regret it. James Dean, creator of Conflict, says, Ethan, how do you keep finding SJWs with failed campaigns to yell at you on the web? Check out James Dean's book, Conflict, on Indiegogo tomorrow. Yeah, that was weird, man. There's this dude, Edward Sellner. C. Edward Sellner. Do you know who he is?
Colin Cuck. Yeah, I used to work with him.
You used to work because he mentioned you.
Yeah,
and he called you all kinds of names. What's up with that guy?
He's a freaking nobody. He's never done anything, but he thinks he's like part of the comic book industry. He's one of these hangers on.
Well, he spent all day today, like, just going after me, going hard in the paint. And I think I argued back with him for a few hours on Twitter. And then somebody's like, why are you so, like, angry about Comicsgate and everything? He's like, because they're going to wake up one day and they're going to realize that like, even if that were true, why do you care? That's like not, I don't know, that like shouldn't be a concern of anyone else's except for ours. And if you don't like us,
we're gonna wake up and realize what?
That, like, I don't know, it's never, like, this isn't gonna last. And so it's just like crowdfunding is not the future. And I was just like, what exactly is your problem, dude? Like, seriously, back off, go do your own thing. Like, you have all day to argue with me about how I'm going to fail. Like, what kind of argument is that for a person to have? And then somebody sends me this. This was his last Kickstarter campaign. There's Charles Edward Sellner, raised $1,030 of his $30,000 goal. Funding I was like, funding canceled. Funding canceled.
Mm-hmm. Now you know why he's upset.
Yeah. I raised more than that before coming on the show.
Yeah, I know. I was just like, you know what? Like, I was like, Edward Sellner, see Edward Sellner.
His
we
name's
can help
Chuck.
you.
His name's Chuck. Just
Chuck. Calm. Well, I was like, we could help you. Like, I don't know why you want to fight us.
No,
like,
that person. He is the queen of SJWs, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I'm just saying. In any case, it's like I can see the bitterness. I mean, this is really bad. He launched this campaign on September 3rd and just ended it on September 22nd here. On the 22nd, having raised $1,030. And he's like,
that's almost one person per day.
Almost, yeah. Almost. So it's like, if you really look into it, you can see why people are kind of mad at you about this. Like people hating on Comicsgate, sure, most of it is political, but there are other reasons too. I mean, they're just people looking at us and saying, I don't know how you did it. I had somebody call me and go, no, but how did you do it? And I was like, I'm telling you how I did it. I attracted a fan base and I marketed my very interesting looking comic book to them and I sold it every single day. No, but Ethan,
tell them how you did it every single day. How on earth did they miss it?
I don't know. I think they think there's something else. It's like, is this money laundering? Is this a money laundering scheme? I'm like, well, you can look really close and you'll see it's just a lot of people spending, this much money, and like 6 people spent like $3,000 to actually be in the book. But for the most part, it's people who are dropping $100 here, $50 there.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it works. It's just you have to keep selling and I don't know. we've figured it out. I mean, this is just our system, and it tends to work. And there's no reason to think that it'll stop working unless crowdfunding ceases to exist. In which case, we'll just go do this on Amazon, or we're going to build our own crowdfunding site, which is something that I'm talking to a bunch of people about.
Interesting.
Now, yeah, like if we built, well, okay, I'm talking to people who actually do this for a living. I have a lot of people like in my email box saying, "This is what I do. I'd be happy to do this for you." Create a crowdfunding site that is only Comicsgate that I would run, and I would run it with some help. I'd hire some people, and then instead of giving that money to Indiegogo, you guys can just give it to me.
Awesome.
And I
Gladly.
promise I will never shut you down for any reason. I mean, so it
Hey,
just seems like the
Ethan.
future. Yes.
That sounds like a great idea. That's kind of like what I was talking to Nasser, and I think I was talking to John Malin about it a little bit. Just the organization of just being under one roof and scheduling the releases. Just that alone, scheduling the releases for the consumer, so that they're able to purchase all the books instead of oh, I don't have enough money to buy this book and I really want it. But that sounds like a great idea.
To keep it all under one roof. That's
Yes.
the main thing. It's like, okay, you want to support Comicsgate, you want to support like these indie books. Well, it's all here, so you don't have to just. Most of the time, I've got people saying like, Ethan, can you tell me like the names of Comicsgate projects so I can support them? I'm like, it's like I there's so many of them. I don't just watch the show and you'll learn. But I mean, it'd be great to just have them.
There's Indicron too. Indicron,
Yeah.
I think.
Indicron helps. Yeah.
Yeah.
But just have them all under one roof. It's like you can just go shopping. That way it just makes more sense. Radical Comics says, "No, Ethan, thank you.
Yeah.
Your art is a huge inspiration for me. And my first Green Lantern comic was the Godhead special that you drew some of the new gods in. I remember that. Thank you so much. I appreciate that." Andrew Rotten says, "Is John in fact the biggest star in this chat?"
Yeah. Yeah.
I think he would. I think he'd be the first to say yes. Ian Howe, 99. I'm trying to get my YouTube channel together. It turns out speaking is hard. I have a whole new respect for your gift for Gab. So much
Tell me
talent
about it.
packed into one glorious, slightly oversized package. I'm not that fat. People are like, people
He said
exaggerate
slightly.
my.
It was nice. He said
slightly.
slightly.
Slightly, yeah.
Yeah. So
thank you.
here's
Yeah.
my man bat, even though it's nowhere near as detailed as yours.
Wait, hold on a second. This is your man bat. I mean,
Yeah, from Injustice. I only did it in a couple pages, but
yeah, that's cool. Scroll down.
then-
I like your Mad Hatter too. I got to draw him.
thank you.
Yeah, good stuff. Why are they all so light? Are they just holograms?
No, it's just very open.
Oh, you
Open.
letting the color do it.
Let the colors do it all.
Awesome. Daniel Cooney says, "Hey Ethan, looking forward to the Cyberfrog miniature. Any plans to publish a black and white artist edition of Cyberfrog and other work?" I don't know. I mean, yeah, at this point, it's like there's so many opportunities to make a ton of money off of just our first round of comics, our first round of books. That's what kills me. I mean, that people like C. Edward Selner who are just like, yeah, but you only sold 12,000 copies of my $25 comic book.
He only sold 21. Did you bring that up?
What?
He only sold 21. Did you bring that up?
I didn't bring that up. No, I don't want to compare myself to him. But the thing about it is it's like that's just in pre-orders. I mean, I'm looking at. I got my printer sent me over a sampler book today of all the different papers that I can choose from, and the chromium stock. She sent me a photograph of it before, and then today she sent me the book, the thing to actually hold, and it's thick. It's so nice. I'm telling you, this was going to be the nicest comic book, like just in terms of quality, that I have ever handled. Ever. All the old X-Men books from the 1990s. This is going to be a better looking book than those. And I get to choose the paper stock and everything. And as I'm looking at this, I'm just thinking, how many more different ways? I mean, I can take 1998, the ash can, and blow it up to a full-sized issue too, and just sit on them. Just print 10,000 of them as a full-size, special, and only sell them in person or something like that. Or I can do black and white editions. I can do any of this stuff. I mean,
Black and white. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I would buy that. I like your line. I like your attention to detail. And sometimes, for me, anyways, I'm kind of a purist. Probably the inker in me. I love to see black and white artwork, especially somebody with as much detail as you have in your work, Ethan. I think
I
that would
like
be
it too. I
a
want
blast.
all you guys to do that. I want you all to do it. You know, it's like that. I mean, once I get used to this is the, you know, initially I've never done this before, so I'm, you know, kind of dumb. I'm learning everything as I go. I've never published my own comic book before, so a lot of people are helping me through it. And you know, yeah, they're like, "Oh, the book. You said the book was going to come out in November." Well, I mean, I said that, you know, when I first started and thought I was only going to be self-concerned and that I wasn't going to be kind of heading Comicsgate, you know, through Comicsgate Live and promoting so many other people and turning this into a thing. I was entirely self-concerned. And so now it's looking like it's going to be more like Christmas, that we're going to get these books done and in my hands and sent out to people. But that's just reality. And then the next time around, you know, it's like I'll have a way better grasp on how long this takes and anything that could kind of get in the way, you know, in terms of printing and production. But we're going to get really, really good at this because we have to get good at this. We have to be great at this. We have to become like marketing and publishing geniuses, each of us individually.
Yep.
You know, before we can even consider, you know, joining up and making something that's, you know, combined in any kind of way, a conglomerate. We have to learn on our own. But this, I mean, Comicsgate has grown.
Yeah, definitely. We have to learn the business and figure all this out.
Well, the neat thing about like all of us working separate but yet together is we can all kind of network, and then we're kind of connected, but we're disconnected. So I still have to hustle. John has to hustle. Mike has to hustle. We all have to hustle for our own audience, and then we bring them collectively into the Comicsgate community. And I think that's also what's unique about the situation versus just if we just published under a banner, because if we just published under a banner, then we start relying on the publisher to do all the things that we do now. And I think that's the difference, is because we are the voice for our projects, but then we bring that voice into the collective as well. So it's really unique. It really is.
We can't rely on other people. We just can't. We have to learn to, I mean, we can rely on each other, I think. I mean, but I don't think we should be relying on anyone else. It's too dangerous right now. It's just too dangerous. The idea of relying on Indiegogo freaks me out. I don't want to rely on Indiegogo because they could just decide one day that we are too controversial and stop publishing us or stop running our campaigns. These are things we can't. We have to become entirely self-reliant. So you know, like I said, I mean, this is all. It's all growing. I think it's going to get bigger. Michael Ross said, found Comicsgate because of EVS and Zach on YouTube. Exactly. Thank you, Michael, for saying that. That's exactly right. You know, it's like we're promoting and reaching new customers in a way that Marvel and DC and Image and IDW can't and aren't. So it's pretty unique. It's pretty interesting.
And it's all new stories too. That's the good thing. It's all new characters.
You know, Ethan, the thing that I bring to the table for you guys is, you know, if I can offer any help, you know, obviously I don't know the intricacies of the comic book business like you guys do, but I've been brand marketing products and startup businesses and all kinds of things for quite a while. So, you know, you're not looking to get into retail, but branding, positioning, and things like that. And whatever help I can offer, you know, I'm available to you.
No, we appreciate that. I mean, yeah, I mean, we're all gonna. This is the thing. I mean, like all these incredibly gifted people, and not only us, you know, not only the people that are actually doing the books, like us, Frank, but there are people in the audience that are listening right now, and they're just like, well, I can help because I know how, you know, I know German translators that can get your, you know, I mean, everybody is involved with this. I know, you know, a good place to get, you know, cheap plastic to make action figures. I mean, there's so many people that are listening, that get involved, that will, you know, help us out. And this really is a grassroots movement in a very serious way. And I just got hit up by somebody there who's listening right now. I'm looking at my inbox, crowdfunding site. I've been hearing more and more about you. Somebody wants to help with crowdfunding. Awesome.
That's great.
You know, that's the way it goes. Let's see. Matt says Marvel is probably thinking he's employable with income like that. Well, you know, it's all about talent over there. Obviously, well, it used to be. It used to be all about talent.
Well, it's the House of Ideas.
Did you guys see that video? I was talking about it this morning briefly. Did you see that video of the girl who stood up at New York City Comic Con and asked the women of Marvel about diversity?
Yeah,
No.
she was on someone's stream recently. She was, I think it was a Honey Badger. She was on there. They interviewed her, and I mean, it was like they were completely flabbergasted. They couldn't believe that this woman stood up and basically challenged them. They were shocked, and they couldn't say anything because she's black. And the
Oh, that's
lesbian
awesome.
is like, haha, gotcha.
No, I looked for it on your Twitter after I heard you mention it, Ethan. Yeah, I didn't find it. So
Oh, I thought I retweeted it. I might not have retweeted it, but I'm sure you could look it up. I mean, just look up like diversity, the women of Marvel, New York City Comic Con, NYCC 2018. You'll
No, it's
find it
gonna
on
be there.
YouTube. You'll find it. I mean, it's you know, it was pretty brave. It was pretty ballsy, and they totally like bungled it. Like there were like 8 women up there, and they couldn't answer her. It was pathetic. And one of them eventually said, "Would you ask that question of a man?"
And she's
she's
like, yes.
Yes. I was like, yes, I would. Why wouldn't I? This is a question about merit. It's not about Wahmen. You know, how come you guys aren't hiring people based on merit? And it seems like it's more about, you know, I don't
It's
know.
weird though that they would cop that attitude with her because it's like she's a woman. What, like you're supposed to be together. Why would you ask her? Would you ask that of a man? Of course you would ask. Like that would be the person you would ask that question to. It's unusual that she's asking it to you. You would
Mhm.
normally only ask the question of a man because you're trying to pin him down as being sexist. So you're so caught up in your crazy feminism, you can't even think straight.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's, you know, well,
The appropriate group think.
they already have an answer for that. She's got an internalized misogyny, internalized homophobia. You know, it's like that's their answer. They'll dismiss her as someone who is damaged in some way, and therefore can't be taken seriously. I mean, all women are supposed to be feminists. You know, all of them. So if you aren't, what's wrong with you? Yeah, I've seen them kind of dismiss this argument, but it's great. I mean, every single time, you know, they do one of these kind of panel discussions at a convention, people should stand up and confront them like Nasser did and like this young lady did. Stand up and point the finger of scorn.
I think people are afraid of getting kicked out, you know, because what happened with Allison Tiemann, you know, she answered someone's rhetorical question after getting permission and they banned her for life. So, I mean, that type of stuff is, you know, I can understand why someone might not want to do it. I haven't had the opportunity to do it because I don't go to panels. When I go to C2E2, I go to spend $600 on comics. So,
Yeah.
but I would ask that if I were, you know, if I were in a panel and they were saying something stupid like that, challenge them.
Of course.
It's pretty it's pretty common for about like 60 or 80% of people not to challenge authority. So, you know,
Well-
they'll back down on their morals if there's somebody in power who's you know, in a higher position than them. You know, they don't want to give up their job, they don't want to lose their paycheck and stuff like that. So that's kind of how this stuff just like festers for so long. But this is unsustainable. This kind of a SJW culture, the far left is completely unsustainable. They have every single subset of the far left is a conflicting idea with each other. And they're uniting against this kind of way of thinking, this free thinking that we have, you know, conservative thinking, liberal thinking, libertarian. And as soon as they defeat the enemy, if they ever defeat the enemy, which is us, they'll attack each other. It's unsustainable. It's conflicting ideologies.
Yeah. The chat's complaining, by the way, about somebody using a spoon. Turn your mic off. Like, you mute yourself, please. If you're the chat does not like extra sounds. They don't like it.
Money on art.
And I have to say this every time, and I feel like everyone's daddy, and you guys are all older than me. The chat freaks out. They don't like the extra noise. Look at Ian Housing. Who is eating? If it's anyone but EVS, kick them. I'm not eating. I'm not going to kick anyone. But yeah, please do, like, if there's extraneous noise, make sure you're muted.
Ethan just eats pie with his hands now.
With my bare hands. You would never even. How do you think I eat so much pie? It's stealth eating. I have to tiptoe and eat with my hands and make no noise, or Andrea will hear me and she'll say, you know, All right, let me read a couple more super chats here. Mark C says Frank had the mob help JFK get elected in states he was behind. Bobby Kennedy, as JFK's attorney general, went after the mob, so both brothers were taken out as retribution. What do you think of that, just some guy?
That's an interesting conspiracy theory. I personally believe it was Hillary Clinton. That's just me.
That makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah, she's a Terminator. She went back in time, killed Kennedy, and then came back to the present to complain about Donald Trump. It
Yeah.
makes perfect sense.
And that's how she was named after Sir Edmund Hillary.
She's crossed paths with Mike Zero.
Why does she lie so bad? She lies all the time. All the time. It's ridiculous. They all lie.
And I hear she's American.
No.
Oh well, she never left. That was the thing. She's never gone. And it's like, go away. No one voted for you. Go away.
Yeah,
Leave.
like literally nobody likes you. We don't like you, and the people who voted for you don't like you anymore. They want you out of here. Just disappear. You're a big disappointment.
People literally hated Trump more than they hated her, and they were still like, yeah, I'm still voting for him. That's how much they don't like you. Go away. Stop popping up.
Somebody said Hillary saw Bigfoot. Did she see Bigfoot?
Bill?
I think, but Bill Clinton was the first president to get into office by saying, I'm going to investigate the...
Stop eating.
Wow.
Trumpinator.
Yeah. All right, look. Okay. Please, no digital books. Physicality matters, says Kareem Gontis. Kareem, I think we're going to do digital books, but later. Like my plan is to do digital at the end. It's like after I've sold these books directly, the signed books, and then after I've sold books through the direct market, these new editions of Cyberfrog, the last thing I will do is I'll try to clean up with digital. It's like sending your movie to cable TV. It's like, okay, is there a few extra bucks to make on cable TV? All right, that's fine. Now you can see it basically for free with your cable subscription. That's kind of how I see distribution of comic books. I think it's the way to sell them, marketing them. I think that's like the best way to do it. Mark C says, Uncle Ethan, I think it would be cool to make the ash can with a flat stock paper for a retro feel. Then use glossy with blood honey. All right, I'll take that into consideration. Joe Marone says, regarding late books, it was said of Alan Moore's ABC collected books that they were so good, no one remembers that the single issues came out late. Well, people don't remember that Flash Rebirth and Green Lantern Rebirth were both late too. All the time, every single issue. It doesn't matter anymore. It kind of just doesn't matter. It matters that they were good. It only matters that they're good. But of course, Mike disagrees with me.
Mike is muted because there's a whole bunch of noise right in front of my door.
Oh, okay, no problem. Who else could disagree with me? John Malin would disagree with me about that.
I'd rather they be good and on time.
I can't argue with that, John. I mean, you plugged me into a corner.
Shut down.
James Dean, creator of Conflict. I challenged Chuck to apologize to Ethan if I, as a complete nobody, could raise more money than him in my first 24 hours. He said absolutely nothing. Well, James Dean, I think you can raise more money than him in 2 hours. And I think that's going to happen for you. I haven't seen your book yet, but I'm just guessing. Nicholas, thanks for $10. Appreciate that. I found Comicsgate through a YouTube lawyer talking about Jawbreakers. That would be Nick Vercata. That'd be our boy Nick Vercata.
I like Nick.
Oh, he's so funny.
He's awesome.
He says, I supported your boy Zach even before I knew these streams existed. Not been into comics for years, but wanted to collect this new generation. Thank you, Nicholas. Welcome. Ragmuffin says, what's up, geeky patriots? Not much. Gojirify, Ethan's fridge alarm sounds like a fire engine. That was my fridge opening up. That was me sneaking something. I got a chocolate
5-alarm pie.
Yeah, it's not no, I don't have a pie. I have a chocolate. What is it? I don't know. It's a cake. It's a chocolate cake upstairs. I'll leave it alone today. No, it's a good one. It's from the nice bakery in our town. It's custard or something. I don't know. It's nice. It's a really nice cake. I went out to get it yesterday when the girls sent me out. Junior Ruiz. Oh, and I bought a bottle of Walking Dead wine. It's got art. It's Walking Dead wine. It only comes out in Halloween, and it's got Charlie Adler's art on the cover on the front of the bottle. I'm like, I gotta get Cyberfrog wine.
Yeah.
I bought Game of
gotta
Thrones years ago. It's been sitting in my cabinet forever.
You bought one already?
Yeah, I bought it like 5 years ago. I don't. It's just been sitting there. I never drank it.
Do you think at some point it's going to be like it's going to be good wine? They're going to say, "Hey, do you have any Walking Dead Cabernet from 2015?" And you're going to be like, "I do, my good man." What's the cork service here? Yeah, absolutely. That's wow. Yeah, hang on to that. I'm sure it's going to be great stuff. Yeah, Junior Ruiz says back Gusto early to rise on Indiegogo. Well, we do want to do that. Help out Junior Ruiz. I was supposed to have someone on tonight. There's a guy. He said he was going to come on to argue with me about. Let me see where he's at. Yeah, the Comic Book Hut was supposed to be on, and he was bragging about it. He was telling everybody, "I'm going to be on your show at 9 p.m." Comic Book Hut, the link is in your direct message. So if you're supposed to come on here, he was going to yell at me about making sure that our comic books come out on time. I was like, well, absolutely come on and discuss that. So he is welcome and invited to do that. All right, so here's what I want to talk about. And I hope you guys are with me on this. 1 second.
Yeah, I agree. It's true.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Oh, Critias is here. Hi.
What's going on, I guess?
Not a lot. All right. So, Jason Blum apologizes for dumb comments on female directors. So this is the thing. You can't make fun of Wahmen directors. You can't. This guy is going to issue an apology. Blumhouse founder Jason Blum apologized with an official statement for his comments in a recent interview where he tried to explain why none of the production house's horror movies are directed by women. Can you imagine this? Can you imagine? The original comments garnered a great deal of criticism on social media. While casual moviegoers may be mostly familiar with Blumhouse Productions, Blum may be an unrecognizable name to those outside the horror genre. Born and raised in Los Angeles, Blum worked under Harvey Weinstein. A lot of women worked under Harvey Weinstein at Warner Brothers before embarking on a career as a feature film producer. In 2000, he established Blumhouse Productions and has since become known for making innovative, low-budget horror films that translate to big profits at the box office. The 2009 film Paranormal Activity. Did you see that, Mike?
Paranormal Activity? No. I'm not a big horror guy. The Ring kind of like scared me away from horror movies.
Oh.
Movie freaked me out. I'm like, all right, I'm done. This is the
Steven, did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it. It was pretty good.
It was good, right?
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
It scared the hell out of Doug. Like
And
Doug
Mike.
said, it was this. Well, Doug said it was the scariest movie he's ever seen.
Nah.
By the way, welcome back, Rokabir Kumar. The great Rokabir Kumar is back in the chat. What's up, Centurion? Great to see you. Glad you're back from your vacation. All right, so it was produced for a mere $15,000, but ultimately grossed $200 million. That is how to make money, Disney. This past decade, Blumhouse has produced 5 highly successful sequels, along with various franchise starters like Insidious, The Purge, and Sinister. Yesterday, Blum used his personal Twitter to apologize for his statements in a recent Polygon interview.
Oh dear, that's where his first mistake was, going to Polygon.
Do not go to Polygon. Do not be interviewed by Polygon at all. Just don't do it. Matt Patches. The interview's title references that Blumhouse Productions has never produced a female-directed horror film. Who cares? And by the way, look how successful they've been despite that. Despite that, somehow they've still managed to, make profits of $200 million on a $15,000 movie. How did they do that without Wahmen? How did they do that? It's amazing. Yeah. So Blum's response garnered criticism on social media, specifically this statement, quote, "There are not a lot of female directors, period." Oh, we shouldn't use the word period. And even less who are inclined to do horror. Unsurprisingly, it didn't take long for female directors to voice their dissent on Twitter, including Lauren Wokestein. Her name's Woke. The Saska sisters, and many others. The most common reaction seems to be that Blum merely isn't looking hard enough. Look hard for women. And his official statement concludes with the line, "I will do better." Oh my God.
Do better.
What was his original statement again? What was
his
it again?
original statement was, "Hey, look, he said there are not a lot of female directors, period, and even less who are inclined to do horror."
Okay, so he's stated a fact. There are few female directors in Hollywood. That's a fact, and few of them want to make horror films. Fact. What is he apologizing for?
Because he didn't look hard enough for Wahmen.
Well, if they wanted to do the job, they would submit their projects to him, but they don't because they're not interested because they want to make the Yaya Sisterhood of Traveling Pants or whatever that garbage was. If that's what you want to do, honey, that's what you want to do. Don't get mad because other people do stuff you're not interested in and then make more money.
Well, that's right. And, honestly, the results are all that matter. I mean, in a normal world, the results are all that matter. He could say, "Look, I think I know what I'm doing. I spent $15,000 and made $200 million on a single film that changed the way horror movies are marketed in Hollywood. It's a box office return of $200 million minus $15,000. You should all be on your knees before me, worshiping me. Instead, you're saying, why didn't you do it this way with this person?" This is exactly what's wrong with comics. And let me tell you something. Why question this man? Why ever question anything he ever says or does? Look at his results. This is the invasion. This is what's going on. This is what's going wrong with all outlets of entertainment right now. So here's his apology. Now, the question I would have for you guys is, should I read this apology in soy boy voice or just regular? Should I give him dignity? Because he deserves respect in a way. But he is apologizing to Wahmen. So
he lost all his respect once he apologized. He's done.
Okay, so I'll read this apology in soy boy voice.
Soy.
Yes.
"Thank you, everyone, for calling me out on my dumb comments in that interview. I made a stupid mistake. I spoke too quickly about a serious issue, an issue I am passionate about. Over 50% of our audience is female." Bullshit.
Yeah, right.
Bullshit. Sorry, excuse my language, Mike. I'm so sorry. I know your kids are in the room. 50% of your audience is not female. It is not. I'm sure there are a lot of women. But see, guys have to drag their girlfriends, most guys, to horror movies. 100% of guys, except for Mike, want to see ghost movies. 100% of guys want to see it. 100% of guys want to be in Star Wars, want to watch Star Wars movies. A very small percentage of women want to see ghost movies. A very small percentage of women want to see Star Wars movies. 100% of men do, except for Mike. So over 50% of Blumhouse execs are women. Some of our most successful franchises are anchored by women, including the one opening tomorrow, today, led by the biggest female legend in this genre. That's Halloween, right? I think he's talking about Halloween. But we have not done a good enough job working with female directors. And it's not because they don't exist. I heard from many today that way my passion came out was dumb, and I'm sorry. I will do better.
Lindsay, we found another pair of balls for you.
Oh my God.
If you need to go up to Super Saiyan God mode, we got them. Just go and pick them up, man.
So if you have stock in any of these companies, Blumhouse, you should probably be taking it out now, right?
Seriously. I mean, that's probably going to actually hurt the business if it gets around. It could actually hurt his box office because it sounds like he's just copping out on his own business model.
Well, his instincts, he's now got to second guess his own instincts to make a bunch of people who don't care. They don't care about him making profits. They care about him sharing the glory with a bunch of political hacks. They like, all right, well, if you're going to do this, if you're going to be successful, can you do it with women? Well, I mean, maybe, but I'm not gonna deliberately look for women. I hire people based on merit and what's convenient and any number of reasons. But no, you're going to do it with women, or we're going to make you suffer. We're going to humiliate you.
What Jordan Peterson calls this the hierarchy of competence, and they hate it.
Yeah,
they're going to hate it.
We are blessed. Smugless is here.
Hello.
Smugless is here.
Hey, Smug.
Hello, gentlemen.
I love your book. I love your book, Smugless.
Love you too. Love it. Love what you're doing.
You know what? I honestly thought that was Doug for a minute. He's getting really, really good at it.
Ethan, you got to come on my show. Got to spread the cheddar, my brother. We got a lot to talk about.
Right. Well, I will.
Want to get you on the couch. Want to open you up like a chestnut.
That sounds like a good idea. I would love to come on your show. I'd love to rap with Douglas or Smugless. I'd love to hang out with you and talk about the Lord with Mike Nelson. I think Mike Nelson.
People are more afraid to talk about God than they are to talk about just about anything these days. That's a sick world we're living in, where people are afraid to say the G word.
Not your people, though.
No, my people. No, and you're my people. You're all my people. Six
right.
figures. Oh.
All right, welcome. So, Blumhouse Productions. The apology, in which Blum admits to making dumb comments. He notes that more than 50% of the company's audience is female, and more than 50% of Blumhouse's production executives are female. The statement arrived the same day that Polygon published the interview, suggesting that Blum does indeed take the feedback seriously and hopes to diversify his creative pool with more Wahmen filmmakers. While Blumhouse Productions is commonly associated with horror, now it will be associated with utter scrotumless penislessness. Blum and company have also produced films like Whiplash and Get Out.
So they're just sexist, not racist.
That's right. Oh, why? Why does this happen? Why does this happen? Why can't people just leave people alone? Why does everybody? I think people just kind of are nosy at this point. I think people are just up in other people's business, and just I don't know. I think it's really weird. All right, so Blumhouse's latest hit is the Spike Lee 2018 drama Black Klansman. There's an extra K in there. Black KKK Klansman. How would you order tickets for that? Smugglers.
I don't have a problem. The rest of y'all might have a problem, but I can just go up there and just, can I get the ticket?
For what though?
For the probably okay Spike Lee movie.
No, I'm saying how do you say the title of that movie?
I would just call it the Black Klansman.
Just stutter when you hit the K.
Black Klansman.
I would ask for Pootie Tang, and then they'd know what I was. They'd know what I meant.
I love it. All right, a $15 million film that earned $80 million in theaters and will likely receive at least one Oscar nomination. This weekend, Blumhouse's Halloween will receive a wide theatrical release. While Blum's statements about female directors may have surprised some, the conversation around diversifying talent behind the camera in Hollywood has been going for some time, and there's no doubt the topic will continue to spark heated conversations, and with good reason.
Yeah, because Kotaku will continue to straw man it into oblivion. That's why.
It's hateful. By the way, this is Happy Death Day.
Yeah.
By Scott Lobdell. Yeah, big hit. That guy made a lot of money on that movie. He's making a sequel too.
Love it.
Love it. Love it. How do we get this to stop? Is there anything that we can do to make this all stop?
Write it out.
Stop handing out participation trophies and making everybody think that the world is fair.
Yeah, the
Well,
world isn't fair.
Did you read
It's
what's going
not.
on in Cartoon Network? How they were exposed. That they're just hiring mostly women to run the cartoons over there.
What? So what is this? What happened?
It was in a was it Bounding Into Comics? They did an article on it. It was something about Cartoon Network is basically firing men and bringing in women without checking for merit.
Maybe we could somehow sneak testosterone into the water.
Yeah, that might work. You know, they did that in the 1950s. They really upset everyone when they were going to put fluoride in the water.
Yep.
And people were saying then it's fluoride laced with estrogen. You're just trying to make pussies out of Americans. And everyone went, "Oh, what are you nuts?"
I'm a John Bircher. I'm against the fluoride in the water.
Yeah. It's just fluoride. It's going to be good for your teeth.
Calcifies your brain.
Right. Well, yeah, and your balls.
I stay away from water at all costs.
Especially when it comes to cleaning your hands with it.
No
Yeah,
fluoride will ever touch Doug's teeth.
Maybe I'll put the link in the chat so you can take
Conspiracy.
a look at it.
I guess there's nothing we can do about it except just keep doing our own thing, you know. Let's see. Oh yeah, Critias is just giving me this article about the cartoon industry. That's a whole video in and of itself.
Right.
I mean, all of these weirdo cartoons that are based on like Adventure Time style, SoCal style. Like apparently there's a whole conspiracy behind that of like SJWs.
It didn't used to be like that. And I actually got to meet the guys who were behind Adult Swim. I pitched a show to them with some friends. We couldn't actually use the title that we wanted to use because it was based on Harvard. It was called Harvard Ninja, which is basically a ninja in Harvard. And it's just random scenes with him in Harvard. And they liked the idea. They were actually getting drunk. And like those were the guys. They were just regular dudes. And within 10 years,
guys. I know all those guys, CalArts guys, the Adult Swim guys. I know. Do you remember Raymond Burr from Ironside?
Yeah, I remember him. He was in Rear Window. He played the killer.
Right. He was a neighbor of mine in West Hollywood, and I never met him, but I met the guy who took care of his kids. And he told me Raymond Burr was a nice guy, nicest guy you'd ever want to meet. Also, Hal Linden's caretaker towards the end, I met him too. Really, he said Hal's a great guy. I know everyone in Hollywood.
Do you know Louis C.K.?
Great guy. Chronic masturbator, but once you get past that, fantastic guy. Nicest guy in the world. Me and him are like this.
That's right. Louis C.K. comments on misconduct scandal and latest stand-up set. No, you can't keep Louis C.K. down. This is Kevin Berwick, of course.
Love it.
Kevin Berwick's the worst, dude. He's just, oh my god. Well, is he bad? I don't know if he's that. Who's worse, B. Allen Orange or Kevin Berwick? I'm not really sure. Louis C.K. is one of these guys, and there's a whole series of these dudes in Hollywood right now who are inappropriate around women. And not in the way that most normal people would be inappropriate around women. They're inappropriate in a special way. They want to be humiliated. They want to humiliate and denigrate themselves in front of women rather than just enjoy women's company. You know, it's like they don't. I know Mike's daughter's in the room, so I'm having difficulty explaining this. In any case,
guy's a degenerate. He's a degenerate. He reminds me of Cecil with he wears that ass mask. The guy's a husk of a human.
Just an empty shell.
A shell of what was once a human.
Yeah. Anyway, Louis C.K. He wants to have women. He wants to force women to watch him have a good time by himself, rather than just having a good time with women, and like a normal human being would. A normal human being in power. I mean, that's what most normal people want, to enjoy the company of women. He wants women to enjoy his company in a special way. So that's why he got in trouble. People did complain about it. Louis C.K. and he's not alone. Apparently Harvey Weinstein has the same kind of problem. Louis C.K. delivered a short stand-up set that addressed his sexual misconduct allegations on stage for the first time. After 2 sets at the Comedy Cellar in New York City, where he didn't discuss the allegations, C.K. delivered a well-received set that touched on his personal life over the past year. The comedian's return to the stage has been highly controversial, and he has taken some heat for doing so, though he seems unfazed as he tries moving forward, admitting what he did was wrong. Do you think that his career is going to survive this? Who thinks
He'll be
yes?
fine. He'll be fine. It'll take some time. He'll be fine because most of the comedians are on his side. So
Sick society. A guy could do that, but if he said, I love God, he'd be drummed out of the business.
I don't even think this is new news. I think people knew this about that Louis C.K. even before this.
well, with all of them, they all know about it. It's just nobody says anything or does anything until it hits the news. Then it's like, oh, now you have to have some sort of stance about it. But I mean, he put this stuff in his act.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I'm
he's
talking about.
put
yeah.
it in his act that he's doing it. But all the folks who were complaining about it, they didn't have a problem with it up until the Me Too thing happened. And he didn't force anybody to do anything. He literally says, can I do this in front of you? And they're like, yeah, okay. And then he does it. And they're like, oh my God, 10 years later, I'm so molested by that the guy asked you for permission and you gave it to him. Yeah. I don't think
Well,
so.
yeah. But I mean, it does kind of, you got to be careful. You got to be careful because I mean, he was doing it with like young comics and people who might be depending on him for work. You can't do
But
that.
he's a comic. He's doing a bit in front of him that they kind of get as a bit.
He
So
was
it's
doing
like,
He's doing a bit.
Was it a bit?
exactly. I'm willing to bet it was.
I don't know. I
I'll
don't
tell
know.
you,
Wait for the punchline.
It was it was for a very small select audience, and I mean that's the problem with it. I mean Andy Kaufman, he did bits too, but I don't know. I think he made sure. Did he do bits for his friends and family or just the people around him? Was he always on? Anyway, he did this small set, and the club owner said he didn't specifically address what he did, but he did seem to admit doing wrong, and it was clear that he's just trying to figure out his life. He talked about his life over the past year and acknowledged how it's been tough for him, and he spoke about how weird it's been. He talked about how what happened to him in public has affected his family. He spoke about losing lots of money because of everything. I like how it's just everything. How many times are you going to say everything? And just what? Because of what? What is everything? Fill in that blank. Louis C.K. claimed in his brief set that his actions cost him $35 million in 1 hour. That is way more than C. Edward Sellner made on his Kickstarter. Way more. When C.K.'s sexual misconduct allegations came to light for a second time, it was right when his film I Love You, Daddy was about.
I love it.
The premiere was swiftly canceled and the movie was put on the shelf. While he didn't mention specifics, Castillo says Louis was very sincere and genuine about it all. That's good. So you guys think he's going to survive this? Oh, God, this video.
Yeah.
No, there isn't. There's just a picture of him, his face shadowed in shame as he approaches the stage for the first time in a few months.
What's he doing with her hand?
Pulling it towards himself.
She's worried. Look at her.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I wish I
Love
could.
it.
I wish I could get that guy in a room and just give him some sound advice. I haven't touched myself in decades, mostly because I give myself urinary tract infections.
Oh, good Lord. Yeah, well, you know what? It's funny. It's like some people are going to survive #MeToo. Apparently. I mean, some people said to me, yeah, Louis C.K. will survive. In a way, Pee Wee Herman survived. It took a long time, though, didn't it?
Yeah. No, he didn't survive. He was resurrected.
Yeah.
Well, he was resurrected, but I don't know by whom. I mean, he eventually, it's okay now. It's like,
Well,
and
I mean, that was like 20 years, though. His career was dead forever. And then someone's like, hey, let's put him in Gotham.
Yeah. Did I ever tell you about the time I met Paul Rubin's roommate?
No.
I know everyone.
Oh my God. Yeah. So I guess he's going to do okay. I don't think There are other people who are not going to do well. I mean, Harvey Weinstein is not going to come back. I don't think Kevin Spacey's coming back, which is kind of a shame.
They've kind of erased him. It's a little interesting. He's the one who's, you know, arguably done stuff to kids, and they've just pretended like he just didn't exist. Like
Right.
they're not even talking about him, even though he got in. Yeah, he probably will. They're going to bring back House of Cards because it was a big hit, but it's just interesting. He gets skirted off, and it's just like, oh, we'll just pretend he didn't exist. He's molesting little boys, but let's, you know, talk about Harvey Weinstein begging women to touch him.
Yeah. Roland Polanski pretty much has the red carpet rolled out for him to come back. Kevin Spacey will come back.
Well, Margaret Merkel says apples and oranges, Ethan. You mean Louis C.K., Harvey Weinstein, and Kevin Spacey? I mean, they're all, I know they're all different situations, but they're all the big celebrities that got, I mean, there are more too, but they're the big celebrities that got whacked out during #MeToo. And there was a new one every single day for a long time. Every time I went on Twitter, there was like someone else, and it was like Charlie Rose walks around naked and exposes his penis to his maids, and I'm just like, what is going on?
That's
Charlie Rose.
The sad one was John Lasseter. He hugged people.
He didn't deserve that.
He hugs people, so
Well,
he had
I
to
think
go.
that-
How about Brig?
I think there's more to that than
my advice to these guys is stay dirty, but don't get sleazy.
yeah. Charlie Rose
Never
was a-
wash the dirt off your hands.
Keeps girls at a distance.
but
Did
Matt
Berganza
Lauer was
survive?
great
Is he
though.
still working?
What's that?
Did Berganza survive? Is he still working?
No.
If you brush your teeth, it's like coming on to a chick. Don't do
Yeah.
it. Married men should not brush their teeth.
Yeah, Matt Lauer had a secret button that locked the door behind. Like he had women come into his office, and I mean, this is like the fun. Like he had a button that would lock the door so they couldn't get out.
So someone
I
had to install that. Does he have like
it.
Batman's engineer to like, okay, put this in here and then like
He's got
don't tell
heralds,
anyone?
It's like they're trying to get out, like rattling the doorknob, and he's approaching them with his hands, like in honking motions, like coming. I mean, what the? And yeah, and Matt, NBC covered for him for a long time.
Yeah. Can you guys put in a trap door too?
All right, let me read some of these super chats. Back the Tommy Gun dolls on Indiegogo says Daniel Cooney, personalized book sketch included. Thanks, EVS. Daniel, we got to get you on here. Mike Jenkins, Game of Thrones put out 25 shitty beers. Mike, you want to apologize for those? I mean,
I had nothing to do with it. That's what I'm saying. I bought one of them, but I never opened it.
oh. Wiser in Time. Cyberpunk is the first comic I ever bought in my life. So newbie question, what the hell is an ashcan? An ashcan is a mini comic. Okay, it's going to be about half the size, like the size, not the number of pages, of the comic book itself. And, you know, it's just fun. Ashcans are fun. They're just little mini comic collectibles. It'll have an all-new story in it. Hard Styling, new to Comicsgate, but I think I like it. Well, welcome, Hard Styling. We hope you have fun. Elliot Fernandez says, seeing Halloween. Can't wait to tell you about it. Yeah, I might go see it. I don't know.
Oh, is it out?
Yeah, it came out today.
Oh.
It's a weird day to come out. Are they doing Thursday releases again? Is that a thing now?
Thursdays at midnight, I think.
Okay.
You know, the midnight releases. Talking Pulp says Smugless is life. Throw gold at him. The harder the better. Junior Ruiz, can Smugless please read Back Gusto Indiegogo?
Back Gusto, Indigo. You're welcome to come on the Doug Show. Oh, anytime.
That was pretty good.
Hugh Jass says Kick Nasser. Matthew Hopkins, it's invaded Crunchyroll as well, the anime streaming service.
Yeah, it's gotten deep over there too. That's sad.
Ooh, can I say I just now broke 97,000?
Nice.
Did you really? We're going to go through all the books in a second.
Congrats, Mike.
Start promoting.
You're gonna be six figures. Oh.
Go Jerify says Brian Singer. Yeah, Brian Singer needs to go to jail. Like if what people say about him is true. You
Well,
know,
he got booted off the X-Men movie, so that was a plus.
you know, allegedly.
But now he's on Red
Allegedly.
Sonja.
Yeah, like he's still getting work. If you watch that movie, like An Open Secret, like I did, you watch the Open Secret about pedophilia in Hollywood. I mean, Bryan Singer gets brought up quite a bit, and the stuff that they're saying about him.
Oh,
It
it's
seems like-
serious. It's very serious. It's almost as bad as the Jeepers Creepers dude, which is just ironic on so many levels.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a terrible character.
What, Jeepers Creepers?
Yeah. Yeah, he's
Well-
supernatural. Where's he getting the license plate?
Yeah, good point. He had a license plate on his
DMV.
truck. The movie started out good. You know what? Like every time, I'll say this to horror directors everywhere: stop showing us the monster. Like, you know, just stop. Like, Paranormal Activity is perfect because you never really see what the ghost is. But if they actually confront the ghost face to face and fight him, and you know, on a supernatural plane, it's stupid. It you know, that the whole movie was, hey, we see something weird going on. Like, did we just pass by the guy with a ugly truck, and did we just witness him throwing bodies down a chimney, like a well? Like, what the hell? Like, maybe we should go back and see. And then the guy's chasing you, and I mean, that's creepy. That's like you just witnessed like an Ed Gein situation.
Mm-hmm.
And then it turns out the dude has wings and he's from hell. It's like, fuck, it ruined the whole movie.
Yeah, like the first 15, 20
Man.
minutes of that movie's great. And then as soon as it goes supernatural, it's big thumbs down.
Yeah.
What about
Gentlemen,
Insidious?
gentlemen, I gotta go. Love you all. You're all welcome on a Doug show. Oh, I'll see you in the morning.
Thank you, Steve.
Smuggler.
I mean, thank you, Smuggless. Appreciate you.
Take care.
Thanks, Marcus.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get Ro Kabir in here. I don't know. I feel like getting him in here. I don't know if he'll come in, but I'm gonna send him the link anyway. Yeah, I don't know. I just these movies where you know, you actually fight the monster, you fight these supernatural forces. They suck. They absolutely suck. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. You know, leave it mysterious. Leave it creepy. I don't know. It's more fun that way. It's scarier that way.
The theater of the mind is way scarier. Things
Yeah.
you don't know that are there.
Yeah,
You don't want to show the monster. You don't want to show Batman during the day. Batman during the day looks stupid.
that's correct. He does too. He looks like the Super Friends.
What about Insidious? Do you guys like that at all? Insidious?
Yeah, I like
Annabelle?
Yeah, I like them until like the end. It's the end that are bad. Hey, Ro, I sent you the link. Ro Kabir Kumar, come on in here. I want to talk to you. I haven't talked to you in a couple of months.
Oh, I haven't seen Ro in a while.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll come in here or not, but you never know.
Oh, Cecil's here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
I'm so mad I just missed Smug.
Cecil came in.
Yeah, I never see you and Smugless at the same time. It's weird.
Cecil just got out of a paid phone booth.
You have to get out of the
Superman.
tin can you're talking out of, Art.
Oh, I'm sorry. Should I talk up? Speak up?
It sounds like you're literally at the bottom of a well.
So sorry. This is the headset you told me to get, Mike.
Don't blame me.
This is the one that you told me to get.
You led him astray, Mike.
Yes, you did.
Midnight Cherry TV. Oh wait, what does this say? Oh, Rhino 4563. Didn't Joss Whedon give Paul Rubens a second chance in the Buffy movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing. I was so angry that they destroyed Pee Wee Herman's character over that.
Over nothing. That was for what? What did he do?
Yeah, it was nobody's business. You know, he was in a porno theater enjoying himself. I mean, just leave him alone. You know, you gotta shine a flashlight on him and let sirens go off and ruin his life. It's sad enough. Like, that's the saddest thing I can imagine. And so I don't think he was bothering anybody, exposing himself. He had a raincoat on. He was like, he had a beard and a goatee, and you know, it's like, didn't even look like himself.
They took pleasure in destroying his life, and they
Yeah.
him out.
Really, really bad. I dislike that. Oh, Ro's here. Ro Kabir Kumar. How are you, Centurion?
Hail Caesar, how you doing? How are you guys?
Great. Great to have you back.
Thank you. It's been a long time. How you guys been?
Well, good. I mean, listen, Comicsgate has expanded since we last saw you. I got some pictures of you camping with your kids. I hope you had a good time. But it's time to.
fantastic.
Good. Where were you camping anyway?
Yeah, we went up to Newfoundland and then right up to the north, and wanted them to experience what the cold was, so that they could get the full feeling of the cold. I didn't want them to, just be in the warmth all the time and understand that this is life. I wanted them to feel a little bit of pain.
Nice. All right. Well, we need you to feel a little bit of pain too. We got a lot of work to do. Comicsgate is expanding. It has expanded in your absence. Our borders, our boundaries have grown. So has my waistline. And
Okay.
well, I've been eating pies,
You're still receiving pies from the fans?
I have not received any pies from the fans, nor have I asked for any pies from the fans. The beautiful Aunt Andrea takes care of that. She does give me pies when requested. So no extra pies are necessary. But it is good to have you here. Everyone missed you. Everyone missed you. So it's great to have you back.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I missed everybody. How you doing, Critias, Cecil, John Malin? I think we got a new guy in here. We got Smuggles. Or we have.
Yeah, Smuggles is gone. You should meet. We got a couple of new people. We got Stephen Hart, 28 years old, from a book called Asami Children of Rusu.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey,
good.
Yeah, good stuff.
And we got Frank Martin from the Galactic Comet.
Hey.
Good stuff all around. Good new people. My people.
My people. Yeah, I know everybody in Hollywood. I got a question for you, Caesar. What's the deal with this incel army that you've raised?
Yeah, I don't know what anyone's talking about. People are like, incels are jerks. I'm like, I don't know what incels are then. My attitude was, if incel means involuntarily celibate, okay, that means that somebody is not attractive enough for any number of reasons to engage in fun with the opposite sex, or whatever. Listen, there are a lot of people who are like that. You see them all the time. So like Nasser, yeah. So you don't, there's no reason, in my opinion, to persecute these people or to make fun of them or anything like that. I mean, it's just, it's sad. It's very sad. So
in fact, you want to coach them, right? You want to teach them the way.
No, not necessarily. I don't want to get involved in that at all. But for people,
well, you wish them luck.
I do. I wish everyone luck. I wish them well. Now, other people are saying, no, that's not what incels are. Incels are men who have difficulty with women, and so they've sworn off women, and they call them names. Whatever, dude. All right.
Right. But now they all follow you. That's what's going on. No, I mean the boys. They've been telling me that now all the incels, they follow you. That's what's going on.
Well, I haven't noticed any. Are there any incels in the chat right now that would like to make themselves known? I've never met an incel. I've never heard anyone say, "Hey, I'm an incel, and you are my leader." I am not celibate. In fact, I would be, the opposite. Yeah, always.
Right on. Yeah. Hail Caesar. That's what I like to hear. Hail Caesar.
Very busy.
Hey, Ethan, I gotta go pick up my kids. So thanks for having me on. I'll be on Aloha later.
All right.
Okay.
Bye, Michael.
Aloha, Michael.
Yeah, it was hard to have Michael on because he's got his kids around, and the topics tonight are, clearly there's a lot of sexual discussion going on here tonight. So now we can talk about whatever we want and use blatant terms. So I don't know what incels are except what it literally sounds like they are. But apparently there's a cult of them according to SJWs. Dude,
well, I think they got like a sort of like a dark web or something.
Oh. Okay. Well, I didn't know that, and whatever.
But what do they do? What do you do?
Well, I mean, a little bit of their talks online. It's sort of, they try to tell each other, women are not really all that great. You're not really missing out on much. We should, and then sometimes the conversation will jump to we should move to another country and we should take some of those women. I mean, they got a lot of different stratagems. So they're looking for a leader.
All right, I'm not their leader because I would direct them to be very kind to a girl and ask them on a date. That's what I would direct them to do.
And not go to Canada and take their women.
Right. I would say knock off the pornography for a little while. Stop
Right.
looking at women that way, and start to look at women as people who you're trying to have sex with them. But it's not going to be easy. It's going to take a little bit of work first, and you're going to have to take them out to dinner and make I don't know.
And
Act like a normal person.
A big start would be brushing your teeth and taking a shower.
That's important. Yeah.
Hygiene.
Hygiene is helpful.
And also, if you find a girl that likes drugs, have drugs on you at all times.
Caesar protects the incels. I'm seeing the chat saying that. Caesar, king of the incels. I mean, this is great. The more the merrier, right? If whoever wants to follow you, I think that's great.
Dallas Deadeye says, no porn, I'm out. No, I'm not saying if you feel free to have, do whatever you want to do. I'm saying if I were going to direct an incel towards a regular adult relationship with a woman, I would say knock the porn off for a little while. So that's
it hurts the game. It hurts the game.
It does. It gives you the wrong impression. It makes you impatient. You do have to be patient. There's some patience involved. And
you gotta win her head and her heart.
Yeah.
Well, I'm in a Holiday Inn Express bathroom right now, so that's
that raises the IQ by about 20 points.
Good to know. By the way, treat women like a human being, period, says Mike Jenkins. Yeah, thank you for putting the period in that tweet. That is correct. All right, let me finish these super chats. You're sticking around, Ro?
Yeah, I'll stick around for a bit. I mean, I'm in this Holiday Inn Express, just making my way back. I still got another 1,400 miles or so.
Is your family in the other room?
Yeah, they're asleep right now.
All right, so Custom Songmaker says, nobody ever asks, when were you a starving artist making $15K a movie? Why didn't any women help you? That is true. Ever read Who Will Help Me Make the Bread? No, exactly right. Like, hey, I made dinner tonight. Well, did you have any women help you? Well, why not? That's exactly right. Thank you so much, Custom Songmaker. And people who are failures don't get asked, why didn't women help you fail? Totally true. What? Everybody's a glory hog. You know that? Midnight Cherry TV, Spacey is a creep. Baby Driver was awkward on set. I like that movie. Alan Rogers, huge Earthworm Jim fan. Smugless, really looking forward to Earthworm Jim again, but this time he has fur. Freddie Primo says Lady Alchemy just broke 20K earlier. Sweet.
Oh, nice.
Talking Pulp, Cecil is life, throw gold at him. Ragnak Ufbahart says the original Predator and Alien movie did it right. Johnny Dollar, thanks for $14.99. Does anybody remember when everyone was wary of Cecil? OG, yo. Yeah, but not me. I was the only one I think I was the first one who actually befriended Cecil.
I think so.
Yeah, I was the first one because I said, well, even if this guy is a dick who's making fun of Zach, like, let me see if he's funny, And then I was like, I don't think he's making fun of Zach. Not really. So
I was hated and feared, like the X-Men.
Yeah, I think there's like Cyberfrog too. Same thing. Steve Ledetta, thanks for $1 donation. Paragon, the Quartering did a video on them. Mike on incels. Okay, Mike Jenkins, treat a woman like a human being. Period. Gojirify, buy them dinner and dance with someone's wife. Mike left. That joke is. Reverend Hound, treat women like John Malin, with respect.
Yeah, like they might be able to rip your head off with their bare hands.
Zebulon Pike. Everyone is incel until the next time they get laid. That's actually a good way to look at it. Yeah, it's like I think most people would be trying to have sex or having sex actively at all times, but they're not, and that does make them an incel. Good point. A lot of people are smart in this chat. I do appreciate them. So I want to promote these comic books tonight. We've got a lot of people in here who are working on their own books via Comicsgate, and it's pretty impressive. Mike just left, and he just left before I could actually promote him in any substantial way. But I wanted to say Lone Star Heart of the Hero. I just hold on, let me get this screen share here. Yeah, this is very impressive. Lone Star Heart of the Hero just finally broke $97,060. $97,000. I think he's only about I don't know, what, $4,000 away from where you are, John.
Yeah, disgusting. Back graveyard shift, guys. And let's not let Mike catch up. Douglas is about 10 grand ahead of me, and I think that's pathetic too.
That doesn't make any sense, does it?
Yeah.
Let me put graveyard shift in there too, because let me see where you're at. Graveyard shift. Look at this. 101. I was exactly right. 101,007. Look at that 007 at the end.
007, yeah.
Yeah, nice. 101
007.
reasons to buy it, guys.
Very impressive. Very, very impressive. I have to say, John Malin is showing everybody how it's done. And he deserves a lot of respect. Now, Mike could probably benefit from listening to John Malin a little bit. Let me put this in the chat. But he doesn't listen, does he?
Telling Mike. I tell him the same thing, and he just doesn't want to listen.
Well, I'm listening, John. I'm taking notes.
Oh, okay. Well, I've given you all the good advice, Art.
All right, and I'm gonna achieve those.
Yeah.
All right, back at graveyard shift here. Save changes. Excellent. Yeah, so make sure to back graveyard shift. Let's get him to 102,000. I don't want to put too much distance between him and Mike, but whatever happens, happens. I mean, we were all kind of hoping that Lone Star Heart of the Hero would become Six Figures Bitch around the same time that John Malin's graveyard shift is, but John has opened up an enormous lead between them. And I'm at this point, it's outside of our control. A lot of people are interested in John's book, which is about Universal monsters, like the Universal monsters if they were the X-Men, if they were superheroes.
Mm-hmm.
That's a badass idea.
Yeah, we take murdered scientists that get thrown into their own regeneration experiments, and they're all stand-ins for the Universal monsters. So our main guy is a stand-in for Dracula. His two teammates are stand-ins for Frankenstein's monster and the Bride of Frankenstein. So they regenerate and just keep coming at you and killing you.
That's a great idea. In the meantime, Mike's idea is about this dude who beats up, I think he works for ICE. Ex-soldier turned government super agent fights for the innocent against the darkest evil. Something like that. He's a government informant. I think he is an ICE agent. He's beaten up gang members and illegals.
I thought he fought vampires.
Then he fights vampires, right? From what I understand. Oh, this is really nice right here. I like this piece. That guy looks like me. Does that guy look like me or no?
Yeah, you have two arms.
This guy only has one arm though, apparently. But I see myself right here. That looks almost exactly like me.
That's it.
Yeah. Interesting.
You're a hero.
Well, to a lot of people, I'm not saying that I am, but I'm just saying to some people, I am a hero.
I can't help but think if Cecil was in that poster, that he'd be well over 100,000 by now.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think you're right. They didn't, not including you is a mistake.
Hey, how's that cash grab book coming?
It's a blunder. Cash grab will be coming out very soon. People were saying don't do it before Christmas, but I think that's horse shit.
Everybody's got money to spend, man. Spend money on Cecil. That's what people want for Christmas.
It should be around November. We have enough stuff to put the page together now, and we have enough stuff to show. So it'll be any day now.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Galactic Comet. I want to reintroduce you to Frank Martin. Hey, Frank, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic.
Hey, what is your book even about?
It's about two kids discover the secret of their grandfather, who was a Navy veteran. Turns out he was a space explorer for the military, and they have a great adventure trying to get them back home safe. And they discover things about the grandfather they never knew, and they get a greater bond with him. And we all feel warm and fuzzy till the end, which is a little bittersweet.
Well, that's beautiful. It sounds like a pretty fun project. The book is done with digital artwork. It's computer generated art. What did you used to do? You used to work in advertising, or
just advertising, marketing. We created store displays for Coke and Pepsi. So a lot of things. The only thing that you guys know what I would have done was the R2D2 ice barrel from Revenge of the Sith. And so
you did the R2D2 what?
The R2D2 ice barrel that went into the 7-Elevens. You pull the Pepsi, Mountain Dew. Yeah, those.
I want one of those.
Yeah, everybody did. Yeah, there were.
Oh, those are awesome.
Yeah, I had a few sent out to me, and some people let the bidding begin. So yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, tell me about it.
eBay.
Yeah.
Are you in Long Beach, California, or Long Island?
Long Beach, California.
Love it.
Yeah, I guess Steven's just up the street, huh? About 3 hours, right?
Yeah, Bakersfield, California.
There you go. You ever down this way?
I'm in between you guys. I'm in Corona, right up to 91.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So anyway, Frank's booked the Galactic Comets at $2,459 right now. He needs to get to 12,000. So if you guys are interested, it'd be great if you backed the comic. If you backed this book, bought a copy. $40 is 2 books. That's the recommended. But $25 is all you need to get book 1 of the Galactic Comet. $35 is the Hardcore Space Explorer. What is that?
That's a hardcover version of the book. But I was actually going to put something on the Indiegogo that I'm acquiring the license to be able to produce the Galactic Comet itself in 3D print, make a mold, and then make some casts, have them painted of the model of the ship itself.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone, back the Galactic Comet. I want to also introduce you to another newbie named Stephen Hart.
Hey.
Steven, what is this? What are you doing?
Basically, just in the simplest explanation I can give, it's samurais. There's an American cowboy named John Moses and ancient aliens. So Chariot of the Gods, ancient astronaut theory. It's just a gigantic civil war with a small clan, the Rusu clan in the Tohoku region of Japan, just basically causing trouble with the other neighboring clans in the shogunate. So, they get some balls and they decide they're going to attack the neighboring clans, including a longtime ally of the Date clan, which Sami Nishimura, the main character, and her father, Kenichi Nishimura, have ties to. So that's where things start to go sour for Asami and Kenichi.
Look at this great artwork here. Look at her face. She's adorable. Let's face it, she's a cutie. Stabbing these warriors. Yeah, great stuff, man. Beautiful, beautiful work. Steven is Steven's 28 years old, and I think this is his first book. Is this your first comic?
First comic,
People might look at this and say this reminds me a lot of Billy Tucci's She. Did you ever read Billy Tucci's She?
You know what? I had seen it, but I never read it, and I saw some comments, people saying, "Hey, you should reach out to Billy Tucci." So I did, and he checked out and he said, "Hey, it looks awesome. Great work and great research." And so I bought a couple of his comics, and I'm trying to get issue number 1, but I was trying to look for it in my local shops here. I couldn't find it, so I might have to order it online.
Well, it's unbelievable. Every time I introduce you to people, you sell comics. You just sold, I think, $200 worth of comics. You're at $5,804 now. Everyone is interested in this comic. People.
Looks really
we got some stretch goals.
Yeah, she's thick. She looks thick and she looks very tough.
Well, yeah, very Chun-Li inspired, and that's the thing. I'm not trying to. She's not going to be your typical what you've been seeing lately as a female warrior. She loves her family. She has the real, actual female traits. But she's also a warrior, and she's raised in a clan where everybody pretty much has to fight. She's one of the last of the Bagisha samurai, which was the female class of samurai, one of the last surviving members. So she is tough.
And
my daughter's gonna love this, man. She'd be looking for a book with a female heroine in it. It's gonna be fantastic.
Oh yeah, she's gonna be cool. She's not gonna be, like I said, she's not going to be like the female characters we've been seeing lately. I'm trying to show those traits and emphasize the strengths of actual females and not just basically a man in a female's body. Pretty much is what we've been seeing. But I do got some stretch goals there, Ethan. If you want to scroll down, we have a $6,500 stretch goal. Which is going to get a professional letterer and an Asami bookmark, and then a $8,000 stretch goal, which is going to upgrade the quality of the comic to square binding. And I'd really want to put a black and white line art in the back of the comic along with some sketches. So just like that's the stuff I like to see when I go to the comic shop and I see like a 11x17 line art book or anything like that. I buy those books all the time because I want to see people's inking. So that's something I'd really want to do. And pretty much everything's going into this book. So right now I'm not making any money, but my main goal is I just want to make a book.
Mhm.
So if the money comes, great. That just means people are putting their trust into me, and I'd really like that. But my ultimate goal is just to create an awesome book and be proud of it when I'm done.
Just to get funded, and you're funded. I think you're going to do well. You've still got 8 days left to go. I think you're going to do terrific. I hope you guys are backing our two new campaigns. Galactic Comet just jumped up to $2,509.
Wow.
Back this, back Asami, Children of Rusu, and show your support for Comicsgate. And we got another thing. We got our boy Art T. Bear, who is kind of the grandfather of the group. He's old man Art T. Bear. Art has been working in comics since 1981.
Yes, 82, and like I said, I just finally did the math, so I've been doing this for 36 years. So yeah, that's a while. Yeah,
that is a while. That's longer than I've been. Well, no, I mean I'm 44, but it is a long time. I was 8 years old when you started working in comics, Art, and
wow, now I feel even older.
Hey, Art, don't forget to mention you illustrated the first Bible.
That's true. That's what you always say. That's what you always remind me.
Yeah. So tell me about Black and White.
Art, you also did those cave drawings in France, didn't you?
I was the first comic book illustrator of all time. Yes, I did all those cave drawings. The first sequential art. Yeah, it was up on those caves.
You did a lot of work on papyrus, I remember as well.
Yeah, I made my own paper in the early days. It was a lot tougher than it is now.
Technology has really picked up and made things easier. You're now, by the way, you just jumped up to $28,101. Everyone wants to support RT Bear's Black and White remastered, brand new cover. Look at this. Art, what the hell? Are you going to do another thing after this? Are you going to do another Black and White book?
I'm hoping if we can do well enough with this campaign that there is a volume 2 in the works. So yes, there will be a follow-up.
I hope so. Rokabir Kumar hopes so too. I mean, he is Rokabir sees this as our first campaign. This is series 1. There's gonna be a wave 2 of Comicsgate campaigns, and it's very important that you have your second idea ready and you make.
I have a second, third, and fourth idea planned. So as long as this community supports it and the readers are there, I'll be making comics for them for sure.
Rokabir is my war campaign centurion. You know what he does when we're about to go to war? He actually he knows the battleground. He knows where it's all going to go down. He actually puts gasoline all over the enemy side of the field. Okay, he preps the war field with gasoline, highly flammable. And just as their horses are about to march forward, he lights a fucking match, and he sets their entire army on fire before they even approach us. Now, this is the kind of man that Rokabir Kumar is. He's forward-thinking, he plans ahead, and he is merciless on the field of battle. That is why people should listen to Rokabir Kumar. And learn from him. Anticipate the future. Anticipate, where you're going to go from here. So this is what I say to you, RT Bear.
Okay.
Set the field on fire in front of you.
Yes, I like that. Yeah.
Anticipate Rogue Kabir. That means lock your doors.
And I have to set the fire before he gets here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, can I read
I got my red van, man. It's all prepped, brother. I mean, I'm thinking to drive down.
Yeah.
Can I read a comment? Somebody wrote a comment to Art in the chat. His name is Rebel Leaf. He says that chick is smoking. Art sucks with a microphone, but he sure can draw boobs.
Good job. Let me see.
I'll take that.
Full image of this up
Is
here.
is your microphone plugged in all the way? I feel like if you just pushed it in a tiny bit more.
Okay, let me double check this. I am so sorry, guys. Is that better? I'll just talk louder. I'll talk louder.
Here's the sticker. Look at this bookmark he's got going here. Stretch goal mini print. He's gonna have a mini
We
print.
hit all those stretch goals, by the way, so people will get all those except for that. We haven't got there yet, but we are ending at the mini print right now.
White looks like a more beautiful silver sable.
That's what I've heard. Yes,
Mhm.
she predates.
I mean, I was
Silver
always
Sable though.
I was always into silver sable back in the day, but I mean, she's like reborn right here, even
I think
more
Yeah, I
majestic.
think she'd be able to take Silver Sable and no problem at all.
If you saw a woman with white hair, what would you think?
Oh la la.
Would you think she's old?
No.
Pretty hot.
Maybe crazy. Yeah,
Crazy. Yeah,
yeah.
I watched Peggy Lee. Peggy Lee was a singer in the 1950s. She sang like, my wife likes her. She was singing "It's Nice Work If You Can Get It" with Frank Sinatra. And then it had her in the 1980s in some kind of reunion special. No, it was in the 90s. And she was singing to Frank Sinatra, and it showed what she looks like now. And she had her face pulled back so that she looked like a big mouth bass. And then she was wearing a white straight wig, like the same kind that what's her face wore, Lauren. What's her name from Twin
Bacall?
Peaks?
Oh
No, not Lauren Bacall. It was one of those short wigs that is kind of an Asian style wig, perfectly straight, but it was white. So picture this woman who's like 90 years old, who has her face pulled back and tied, in the back, like tied like a garbage bag, so that her skin is perfectly tight and weird, and her lips are like that. And she's wearing like a pure white Asian wig, short wig on her head. What would you say to that?
I walk the opposite way.
Can I buy you a drink?
Act your age. I don't know.
It's infuriating, Art. Answer for that. Let me yell at you instead of her.
Okay.
All right.
Take it out on me. I can take it.
All right. Well, for that, $28,101 for Black and White Remastered by Art T. Bear. The link is in the description, guys. If you would like to back these projects, I recommend that you shop around and take a look at them and decide which ones that you want to support. Links are in the description beneath the chat window there. Now, I would say, do you want to support Graveyard Shift? But the answer is yes. You guys have already supported Graveyard Shift. You've thrown all of your weight, all of your interest. Look at that. Just sold another copy.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Of Graveyard Shift by John Malin. John, you want to talk about it one more time for the newbies? There's 1,157 people watching.
Yeah, so Graveyard Shift is the project that I've been working on with the co-creator Mark Poulton for the last, we started this, I think it was in 2010. And every time I started working on it, I got hired. So I got hired to do Youngblood for Image for a couple of years. And then I got hired by Marvel to do Thunderbolts and Cable. And this is what I was rolling right into at the beginning of the year before I hopped on to Jawbreakers, which became a pretty big, successful campaign through Comicsgate. And again, thank you to everyone for that. And, it just timing lined up that I had this sitting here done for 3 years. And I said, well, now would be a good time to get this out. So, here it is. This is the work that got me hired at Marvel. It's sci-fi. It's a homage to 80s and 90s, my childhood, everything that Mark Poulton and I enjoyed. So it's a lot of nods through the whole deal. But yeah, if you guys like monsters and if you like superheroes and sci-fi, it's a big blender mix, and I'm sure you'll find something in there to enjoy.
Yeah, I think so. So the other book that I want to promote is Detective Dead by Critias. Let me pull that up real quick here.
Good stuff.
It's very important. Detective Dead. Everyone loves Critias. They love Critias. He told the story of him moving to Florida, moving from Brooklyn or the Bronx.
Brooklyn.
To Florida to work with his hands. Doing construction.
Right.
And then what? Your dream is to work in comics, so you decided that you were going to launch a comic book. Want to talk about that a bit?
Yeah, I was writing the Wraith, the one starring Charlie Sheen, the 80s movie. I was given a chance to write the movie, and I was going to school at the same time, and I just lost my job. So I was, feeling depression. I just wanted to give up writing. I just gave up, and then I came across your Star Wars streams, and then it turned from Star Wars to Comicsgate, and it sparked a fire inside me to give writing one more chance, and so I finished writing Detective Dead.
As a fighter.
Excellent. Yeah, that's excellent. The artwork looks great. It looks like I don't know. It looks like Brazilian DC Comics kind of style artwork.
Yeah, the guy's from Brazilian, the artist.
I knew it.
Good call. Good call.
Yeah,
he
I'm
did a
telling you.
Sisu Nurkic page in the bottom. Is there?
How many South Americans does it take to screw in a light bulb?
How
A
many?
Brazilian. Yeah, so this is an excellent comic book. It looks good. Everyone who looks at it thinks it's fantastic. Everyone who talks to Critias likes Critias. Why not support Detective Dead? It reminds me of the Spectre, a little bit.
Yeah, it's funny you
You
say
know
that because when I went online maybe last month, and I said I wonder what comic books are similar to mine, and I went ahead and I found the Spectre, I found the Shadow, the Spirit, I think is the other one.
Yeah, the Spirit. Yeah, it's a combination of the Spirit and the Spectre. That's beautiful. Yeah, everyone loves Detective Dead. I just put the link to it in the description. You want to back that, and let's get it up there. Let's get this up to $97,000.
Like mine.
If it gets to $97,000, it will have tied with Mike S. Miller's Lone Star Heart of the Hero. Mike left for a little while, but he just came back. What's going on, Mike?
My car wouldn't start, so
man.
I might have to go get him.
Wow.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Distributor cap.
I'll send my son over. He can probably fix your car.
Right on.
Yeah, my kid is at Ohio Tech. He's now in the BMW program.
Nice.
He's got his own YouTube channel called Mechanic Pro Secrets. And
Really?
Yeah, he does. He's
That's awesome.
he's making fun of me, but go to his YouTube channel and subscribe if you want to watch my kid work on cars all day long and brag about cars. But yeah, I'd send him over there to help you, Mike. If we only lived in California, that's what brothers do. The other thing that brothers do is support one another's comic books.
Yeah, refresh that. I think I just got something.
No, it didn't.
I just got a notification just now.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay. Let me see. Let me refresh it again. Well, maybe in a little bit. Yeah, maybe in a little bit. $97,060. That's nothing to sneeze at. I have linked it, Doctor. Oh, link Hunter's. Just look up Hunter Van Sciver. If you look up Hunter Van Sciver on YouTube, you'll find it. But yeah, also Lone Star Heart of the Hero. The link is in the description for this video. Please do support this comic book. Let's check in on Galactic Comet. I'm going to go through these one more time each and just see what's up. Frank Martin, what is this comic book about again?
Yep, it's two kids learn the secret of their grandfather who was out in space in the 50s and exploring and fighting off the dangers out there. They get caught up in an adventure thrust against space and time, and they've got to make their way back safely, and they get to know him and in ways no one ever did, and have a great respect for him. And it's a great adventure. It's kind of like a Wild West quest kind of space sci-fi story, and kids. I have a few kids have read it already, and they loved it. So I know that I might just be on something here.
Well, back Galactic Comet, please, guys. It's at 2,500. We need to get it to 12,000. We think we can get it there. And Asami, Children of Rusu, by the amazing Stephen Hart, super charismatic, great guy. Everyone loves him, and his comic's doing real well. $5,884. Stephen, what is your comic about again?
Awesome. It's just about samurais, an American cowboy named John Moses, and pretty much ancient astronaut theory. So that's where the Chariots of the Gods reference comes in. And it's just going to be a gigantic civil war with a small Rusu clan in the Tohoku region of Japan. And they're decided that they're going to start trouble in Tohoku and start fighting the neighboring clans and collect the dead, bring them back to Rusu, and, pretty much create the children of Rusu.
Amazing. Everyone likes it. Everybody in the chat is saying Asami is amazing. Everyone absolutely loves it.
I could tell that character is heavily inspired by Rose Tico. Am I right?
You're exactly right.
Yeah, Rose Tico. Well, that makes me.
Yeah,
I have to admit,
that'll fill you in between the movies for your Tico fix. Pick this up.
I am a little more interested now.
Well, if we make a movie, we can get Rose Tico on board.
Would you hire Kelly Marie Tran to play the part?
She's got the thighs for it.
That's not right. Black and White by R.T. Bear. Another great book. Art, what was it like to work for Rob Liefeld in the 90s?
It was great because the money was flowing and we were able to pretty much create without limits. There was no mandates from editors or any bosses like that. So we were pretty much working for ourselves like we are now. So there was a lot of liberties to just create from the heart and do whatever you wanted to do. And that's what we did and made some good money.
And grocery bags of marijuana were being delivered to the offices.
Oh, let me tell you, that and cocaine, it was nuts.
Wow.
That's not true, though, by the way.
My part is true.
John's trying to get me in trouble. That and the hookers.
Well, you just sold another couple of copies, $28,141. Congratulations to you.
Yeah,
Art.
it's a 48-page reimagining of my 1994 Image comic that I did do through Extreme and Image, and it follows two characters. One is an ex-spy, and one is a brewery heiress. And so when the line between justice and vengeance is blurred, when an ex-spy and a brewery heiress join forces to take down an extremist with a growing army of, I'll just say robots, so Mike doesn't say mech bots, and correct me. Yeah, so it's good. And if I could just say one more thing, if we can get to 30K by tomorrow day's end, I will be giving a true black and white fan the Grey Capullo variant cover, original artwork from 1994 that has been remastered. And also we'll be adding, at that 30K stretch goal, we will be adding 6 to 8 new pages to the story. So the 30K is a big threshold for us, just because at that point we can make this book exactly what we want to make it without any compromises. So thanks to everybody for supporting, and thanks to anybody who's thinking of backing in the future. And thanks to you, EBS, for giving me the opportunity to do this.
It's the least I can do. Like, literally, it's the least I can do. So I'm happy to help out. Darth Bobcat says, hashtag 6 figures adjusted for inflation, bitch, for Lone Star. Daniel Cooney says, hey, EVS, love to be on soon. And folks, back Detective Dead. Got to crash out, guys. Have a great night. Thank you so much, Daniel Cooney. And what a great night. I mean, what a terrific night. We got, I love it. I like these big family meetings. I like it. I like when everybody's on here. We got Rokabir Kumar back in. We had Smugless. It just feels good.
This is like Thanksgiving with your family members that you really love.
The ones you haven't seen in years.
We need to bring in the turkey, though.
Yeah.
What turkey?
Well, the turkey. I thought I've set you guys up for the Nasser joke. The turkey. Bring the turkey. Get it? Bring Nasser in.
Turkeys are great.
That's a good joke.
Great job, everyone. Fantastic job. Appreciate you all. And we'll do this again tomorrow morning. By the way, Galactic Comet sold some more copies, $2,542. That's good.
That's
Way to
great.
go.
Thanks,
Way to
everybody.
go.
I appreciate that. Thanks so much.
And Lone Star still, I don't know what's
Nah,
going on.
It was a contribution detail update, not a.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right. I was waiting for that to update as well. Black and White did really, really well. $28,141.
Well, Art pitched it very well.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, he does. He does do that. Detective Dead as well. $24,800. People are jumping to support Detective Dead tonight. So great job.
That's my
Appreciate it. Thank you, everybody.
Courteous.
Yes.
All right. I'm getting to work. Love you all. Thank you in the chat. Thank you for the super chat donations, and thank you for supporting these comics by these wonderful people. Go to Rokabir's work campaign live right now. Go support him. Who else is going live now?
I'm going in 45.
Yeah, go to Blacklist Universe. He's going to do another live stream. That's Mike S. Miller's channel. Subscribe to all these channels as well. Subscribe to Just Some Guy. Great channel. Love Just Some Guy.
Yeah, I do
and
too. It is a great channel.
Right.
Thanks,
so
guys.
smart. So smart. All right, guys. Talk to you again tomorrow at 9 a.m. See ya. And for me, Ethan Van Sciver, and all of my guests, have a great night's rest. Bye-bye.
Everyone.
Peace.